going to find out that jumping on is a lot easier than jumping off. Wow!
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know. The air is unfit to breathe. Our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime.
All right, good. Hey, what's happening, everybody? Thanks for coming back and fucking getting it in more over here with the ThinkStopper podcast. You know who it is. It's your boy Trez sitting here with the man Mikey.
Yo.
I'm still chuckling over the last one we had.
That was great.
I had fun going through and doing the audio edit so it wouldn't clip. I hope it wasn't clipping on a lot of you people over there. I hope it wasn't too loud. I tried to cover all that shit because, man, we were laughing ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, real quick.
Is that the dog?
That was Rusty. Yeah, I was like, dude, is someone getting fucked in the other room? It sounded like someone was getting that love moan going on over there. But, yeah, sorry, Mikey's got Rusty in the house.
Oh, yeah.
What is he, a poodle?
Poodle.
Yeah, chilling. He looks like, remember that one 80s actress she was that blonde chick? She always looked like a Dalmatian to me, or like, you know, not like a Dalmatian, but like kind of like, you know, this
pointy
look.
face.
Yeah, the pointy face.
Yeah.
But she was the teacher that Dangerfield was going after him back to school.
Oh, okay.
Looks like the dog.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's the same look. We're gonna have to get a picture. We'll have him in on the deal. But yeah, man, I had fun doing that last podcast. That was a good one. It was good to laugh. We had a good laugh.
It was a full house. We had like 5 people on that podcast.
Yeah, I think it was 6. I think we had
6?
6 mics going. Yeah, it was a wild one. It actually went fairly cohesive too. For
that's great.
He just gave the dog the old scruff hike over there, but yeah, it actually went pretty good. It wasn't like too. I mean, it got crazy, but we kept running these nice little themes going through that. But yeah, we got a lot of downloads so far. Right now, though, the podcast with Hannah and the Vegas shooting was the one that really has got a lot of downloads, and actually on YouTube, people have been commenting on it. Just a couple, but I've been talking with those guys. So. Answering back. I hope you're listening. Thanks again. Thanks again for everybody that's been downloading and following us, and fucking share it, put it out there. We like to go deep. And today our guest is a very funny individual and a guy that I thoroughly enjoy watching work on stage. Very funny comedian, Randall Thompson.
Hey, dog. Hey.
No.
What's cracking?
What's going on now, Randall? You're from. Well, where are you originally from?
I born in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Grew up in a little suburb, Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and then I've lived in North Carolina, different spots for a couple years, and now I live in Vegas for the past 8 years.
Okay, so because I mean, it's pretty much for as long as I can just remember in the comedy scene that you've been here in Vegas, so.
Everything was, for me, comedy related was like Vegas based. Like I was like a rapper. I had a band and shit when I lived in Pennsylvania and North Carolina. I did that, and then even in high school, I did like improv and stuff like that. So I've been plus
just creatively writing.
You can tell.
Plus church. I'm one of those kids. It's just like I'm like Brandy or something. It's like, oh, you're 6 years old. If you have any amount of talent, you have to use it, because it's like. Where I'm from just kills people. So, I mean, hey, shout out to home. Saving up for that bulldozer, guys.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, you've got a great wit, and you think really well on your feet on stage. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy your hosting's like my hosting, dude. Like, no one's safe.
You're a good host. I appreciate
that.
It's a fun time.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Well, that's what I try to do, you know what I mean? But you do the same thing, man. You like when the comic's on stage or something's happening in the room, that's what you go up with, you know what I mean? Like you can't let anything you can't as a host, you can't let anything get by unless you have to let it go by. You know, some shit you don't draw attention to, but like, you know, there's some times, dude, where some dudes are up on stage and you're just thinking, like, look, this goofy ass motherfucker. And then Randall go up and be like, look at this dude flooding over here, motherfucker. Like, you know, like.
That's my favorite thing is to go up, like, after a comic and just be like, what the fuck was he even talking about? And then just, like, move past it.
Yeah, no, but, I mean, you shoot from the hip really well. But, you know, I definitely enjoy it. And then you got some good, I mean, you know, you got some good one-liners and you know, some little quick turns and stuff, but I really like those jokes that get people all like, "Damn, did he just go there with that?"
The uncomfortable joke.
Yeah,
remember the Bobbit roast?
Oh man,
Dude, that was so much fun, bro. Were you there?
No, I didn't get it.
He killed it, bro. It was, and I was right after you too. And I was like, "Fuck, I gotta follow that." I was like, "Son of a bitch," because remember, like the next guy sat on the stage.
Oh yeah.
So I was like in the whole next, and
That's
I
right.
saw
You
it
were
like
right
front
there.
row to you, and it was like, dude, that room was crazy that night.
They didn't have any responses for me. Like I was in the group chat, I thought forever, and you know how because John Wayne Bobbitt's not talented at all.
Yeah.
but
Well, dude, you got
they wrote jokes for him. They didn't write any for me, and it was extra fucked up that I actually smashed that day.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's like, oh god, like. You got nothing for me?
Yeah, because Mario Zapata.
What do you mean? They were supposed to write your jokes?
No, John Wayne Bobbitt had a Mario Z and maybe some other comedian.
Someone else, I can't remember.
They were
who.
helping him write his roast jokes, so
Of course.
he wasn't just going up against comics, you know.
Yeah. Ooh, jeez.
But they didn't write any jokes for me, so.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And they didn't. But the funny part was,
so they didn't have any roasts. Oh, okay, that's
so
what I'm getting.
the
Okay,
format
okay.
was you would go up and you would roast Bobbitt, and then after your set, you would sit there and you would take like 2 or 3 on the chin from him, and then they'd call up the next comic. Ralph would come out and bring out the next guy or whatever. But like it was funny because I remember too. Like I was sitting with them, I was like, "You guys can't make something up,
Right.
Like nothing, like not one. Nothing for the whole. You did 10 minutes up there. You can't say one thing about the
I
guy?
told him his whole life was a gimmick. I told him it wasn't even really a roast so much.
It was
like
depressing.
Wikipedia.
It was more just like a fucking just the slaughter of this dude. Like
Well, I roasted the venue too.
the venue.
Yeah, I was like,
crowd.
here we are at the Silver Nugget Casino and Event Center. If you're wondering what the event is, it's bowling. That's what the event is. Like, they only have one event here.
they're down to like 6 lanes.
Yeah, he got really upset after that roast.
I know.
Of course, dude.
I got $100.
Yeah, you did. That's
Yeah,
right.
so I didn't care.
Dude, well, I mean, okay, first of all, when I saw that, I was like, that's just a terrible idea. That's it. The guy is only known for one thing, 2 things, three real things.
One thing not connected to him.
Yeah. Domestic violence, your dick getting cut off, and then fucking doing a small little stint in porn so everybody can see your fucking reattached dick.
Yeah.
You know, I will say this though, the fucking chick, the little Filipino chick that he had in that video was like a fucking like a high school crush for like porn stars. Like I love that Filipino fucking that bodybuilder look.
You said high school. I just turned 31.
But I saw that and I was like, that's just a terrible idea, dude. This roasting John Wayne Bobbitt. And then I didn't even know the extent of all the other shit that he did on top of like, I mean, dude, if you I mean,
supposedly, he's a serial rapist. I didn't know that. I'm like, whoa, really? Like, I didn't.
Yeah, I was handing out rape whistles, dude. Like I didn't know. I was like, I went to the party store and I got a bunch of like whistles on like necklaces and shit. It was like throwing them out. And it was like, and I gave a bunch of people like some before my set. And I was like, if you feel threatened at any time, just blow these little whistles. And I threw a couple. And everybody was blowing whistles, and I was like, that's hilarious. I was like,
fucking A, man.
I guess that really pissed him off. And that's when his girl, I don't know if you remember, his girl came on stage and tried to like challenge me.
Oh, man.
No, I don't remember that
Oh,
happening.
dude, it was funny.
I must have gone to get a drink.
Yeah, I was like back and forth with her, and then finally like she sat down, and it was fucking great though. It was funny.
Dude, that is so. See, and that just goes to show you, like, those other roasts, those like the comedians, like they know each other, celebrities. They've been around each other in parties. There's like, hey, there's money involved. Just fucking enjoy the drinks and the catering backstage. Fucking do what you do. Go up there, bust some fucking chops. Like you said, take a couple on the chin. They're going up. Dude, you get this shit, man? I'm surprised no one got shot up in this motherfucker, dude. You know what I mean? Like that's the
it's
kind
always a possibility. I mean,
roasting's fun. I like roasting more than like stand up. You know what I mean? Like roasting to me is hilarious. I love it.
Dude, that's kind of, that's how I grew up.
And I like to hear the shit people say back to me. Like I don't just like to roast people. I like to hear it back. Like,
no, you need it. You need
like
it in order to fucking. Dude. I mean, it gets you fired up.
You know, like when someone has a great roast about you, and you're like, "Fuck, I didn't know." Like,
dude.
That's how you see me, like shit.
No, because I can fucking go. I can go hard on myself, like harder than anybody. And if you fucking get me, I'm like, damn.
Yeah. You guys know Joe Calise, right? Mm-hmm. I lost to him. I guess it's a couple years ago at the LA Comedy Club.
Oh, they were doing those roast things.
Yeah. So I was like, whatever. I didn't have any jokes for him, man. I totally just bombed in that battle, but. He had one for me that I was like, oh, that was so funny, where he's like, I'm ashier than the floor in Auschwitz. And I was like, no. Like, I wish I would have heard that, like, years ago. Like, it's just like, it's fucking hilarious. It's a very mean thing to say.
Dude, yeah. No, one time we did this show talking about Joe Calise. And, the guy, he puts things together, really quick. And, we were at this show and we had to. We're doing like this improv session, and I think it was called Shots Fired.
Oh, I remember that was like teams, right?
Oh,
yeah, but they had this thing and they brought up this fucking chick, and this is like my kryptonite, dude. It's like a black chick with like short and like blonde hair, fucking enormous titties, little waist. You know what I mean? Like
a black American princess.
Yeah, and then just fucking. Right, fucking crazy. Well, they go, okay, this is your deal. You got to break. You guys are in a couple, and you got to break up with her. And I'm like, I ain't breaking up with this bitch. Like, this is everything I've ever wanted. Like, I'll let her fucking ruin my life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and Joe Calise goes, I'm tired of everything smelling like cocoa butter. And fucking bam, dude, like, just the fucking room just went out. Like, no one was expecting like that to, you know what I mean? Like, it was just a great connection and shit, dude. And it was just like, fuck, dude, I'm getting these fucking messages about the fucking New Zealand shooting.
Oh, wow.
Right now. Yeah, dude, these people are fucking, they're trying to pull the video off of the net. Oh, okay, never mind. Someone I know downloaded it for posterity. Okay, what's that?
For posterity.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, just because.
That's what those external hard drives are for. Shit like that.
Well, I get being known as the conspiracy guy. I get shit like this nonstop sent to me.
That sounds awful.
No, it's great. Bro. I get a lot of great information, But the thing is it's scary. It's scary because. A lot of times, I don't know if they're fucking like intelligence or age. You know what I mean? These are people that a lot of them that I met. I don't know a lot of these people personally. I'm in a group of 57 people. I know 2 of them.
Oh, Jesus.
I stopped being scared a long time. I just assume that like if they want to get me, they're gonna get me. Like I don't know.
True.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. I don't want to do crazy shit, so it works out.
Yeah.
But I just.
Yeah, no, I mean, and if I am doing crazy shit, I know how to fucking, I know how to get around, dude. Yeah. But
I just picture there like a room full of people at the Facebook offices, like just turning your camera on, watching you all day long, going through your fucking inboxes and shit.
Dude, could you imagine like the guys like clocking in, just like fucking, you know what, dude? I'm not clocking in any earlier than I fucking have to. I'm fucking They want us clocking in 7 fucking minutes before shift. No way, dude. clocking in right then. Then I'm like, I'd love to see these guys like get into their fucking. They got their coffee. They're at the time clock.
Yeah,
you know,
just looking at everybody's nudes and shit. You know, like all these nudes that are sent.
no,
it's
this
crazy.
is pre-shift. Before they get in, they're like, dude, if I see a fucking another floppy fucking tit, you know what I mean? If I see on a dude, fucking.
One more dick pic, fucking.
That sounds like hell. I think that's what hell is, if there is such a place.
Well,
Just getting-
my buddy, it's funny. My buddy's he's an editor on Naked and Afraid, and his job is to go and blur out all the fucking, you know, just all the penises and vaginas, and that's just his job. Like, and then how many seasons are they on? He's been doing it since day one.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
dude.
he's just like, dude, it's fucking hilarious. You know, like he's like, if they run, you know, you gotta like, you know, like he's like, it's just a fucking nightmare.
I was doing this film editing thing, and I wanted to find out how to like blur some stuff out because I wanted to blur out like a license plate and stuff. But when I'm walking by, you have to do it like frame by frame. I'm
yeah.
like, fuck that, dude. I'm just editing out that shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna do that shot because. Dude, that's a tedious fucking process, man. I thought you were able just to like Photoshop, just like circle it or highlight it, fucking hit the blur, and then it would just stay on that fucking
You
frame.
can kind of do it with like Blender. I think that like, cause I try to like keep up with shit. I'm also trying to learn shit basically, and you can like keyframe pretty much whatever you want on there. So like that might make it a little bit easier for.
Well, like
that
if
type
you go
of stuff.
from like
I
the
don't know what
first.
that is. I don't know
Well,
what
like
that
sometimes too, they'll do like a thing where it's like the first frame, they'll like tag it and then see what ends up in the last, and they'll just blur out like that whole area.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
it moves through the blur spot the whole time.
That's kind of like what I was learning. That was like the closest of what I had in my mind that you could do with it. But yeah, man, that fucking, I couldn't imagine that you're just doing that, just blurring out all the dicks, dude.
Yeah, especially 4K too. Like, oh my god, it's fucking ridiculous.
Dude, is there any extra pay for that or what?
No, it's just his job, you know. Like,
Does he get is there any kind of like non-disclosure? We're like, dude, you can't fucking leak these.
dude, he's got like
fucking pics.
PTSD over it. Like, he legitimately like fucking goes crazy some days. He's like, dude, I've been worked 12 hours today editing fucking penises out of fucking, this fucking footage for next
Well, dude,
season.
I would I'd have to be honest. Even if you were just blurring out faces, doing that's tedious work to me. I think that's really, that's like data entry.
Yeah, exactly. It's just fucking.
But
dicks
staring
all
at cocks.
Yeah,
It's like binary code, just fucking balls and cocks, dude.
just all day long too. Like, I'm like, oh, bro, I feel bad for you, bro. It's
I bet he probably lobbies. He's like, look, dude, she's got a hairy pussy. No one can see. Like, do I have to blur that out? It's just a fucking.
Exactly.
It just looks like she's got a little fucking chihuahua down there.
a little rusty.
Yeah, a little fucking. little furry over there. So here's a little something. This is one of the things. I put a post out on Facebook. I wanted to learn a little bit about tarot, maybe even get a reading. I don't know the extent of it or anything, but I wanted to learn about stuff like this. I've been going off of like impulse. A lot of things in my life have. I've always gone by that. I've always been directed by not necessarily like an impulsive person, but like there's certain things like you don't deny, you kind of go with it. It was like one of those things that was grabbed out of the blue. Had no you know what I mean? It's not like I was reading anything or anything like that. The only thing I can say is I've been into, and I've always been into like meditation, visualization type stuff, hypnosis, NLP. I've always been interested in stuff like that. Learned a little bit, never got into it. But that'd be like, other than meditation, that'd be the only thing. Other than there's a guy who I used to follow quite extensively. Now I'm kind of off doing my own thing as far as like, my interest is a little bit different. But his name's Michael Tessarian, and he is a researcher and stuff, but he was also into the divination and the tarot and like all the, the cards and stuff like that.
I don't know any of like the doctors or like professionals or any of them at all.
Well, no. This guy was like, how I got interested into his work is he had this book called Alien Visitation and Genetic Manipulation, and it talked about the origins of like, throughout the history of the planet, but through like religions, like tying it into this astro-theological whole existence, and it was a really brilliant thing. But he was very into the tarot because of the the cards and stuff, because of the energy and stuff. But he's not like this doctor or anything.
Okay.
He's just somebody. He's a practitioner who's like he doesn't need those official credentials. He's like
Initiated.
he's in he's in
the game. Like
he's an
that.
autodidact. Like he grew up in it and just learned it all himself.
That's one of my favorite words, actually. It's funny that you even say that. Like
autodidact.
Yeah, I love that. I love that word. I taught myself that word. I like that one.
Nice, dude. See, that's what I'm talking about, dude. Fucking love it. So that's how I kind of got into like a little bit open to it. But where he was at and the stuff that he was talking about was like so far advanced. I didn't know where to start, especially when, between that and like, I want to say like in astrotheology, they start talking about like, your fucking Mercury's going through this or whatever. I don't
Oh, yeah.
there's astrology or whatever.
Yeah, astrology. They have like biorhythm shit that I have no idea how you even like measure that type of stuff, where it's like, basically, and some people know it, like I've witnessed it, or maybe people just really fucking with me, but people know like actually like their lucky days and shit. Like they know if I go buy a lottery ticket, or like some people there's a way to find this shit out. Like you can know this
on YouTube, because I guess it's because like I look up like stuff about like law of attraction or stuff, but like that kind of shit will like pop up like a numerology, and people are like, pick the lottery day, pick your winning day, find out when you're most productive and and shit. I've seen I don't know if that's exactly what you're talking about, but I've seen shit that it was like, how
Even if you
crazy
just know
is
you're
that?
gonna have a good day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like today's gonna be like shit's gonna go your way today.
Yeah.
Like you take that extra chance, or you know what I mean? Like just everything's gonna be good today.
Dude, it's crazy, man. Like today I was fucking happy to go to work. It's gonna be beautiful weather, fucking have a good day. I feel good. Then I was just around a bunch of miserable cunts, dude, and it just fucking ruined it for me. But I was, you know what I mean? Because this is my whole thing. I just think everybody was burnt the fuck out from a beautiful day out yesterday.
It was really wild. Like
St. Patty's Day was fucking, what is like 80 degrees out?
It was perfect yesterday.
Yeah, it was bright and sunny. So if everybody was out in the sun, drinking, enjoying.
I saw a dog with a bow in its hair, dog. I was like, yo, this is the best Sunday
So you got to figure out the numbers on that day, because it was your day.
That's what. All right, I take the date, the year, and do you know like any kind of numerology or anything about that at all?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit, and that's what I was gonna get into. I know a little bit about this stuff, and it's from this guy. But I put the post out. I wanted to see if there's anybody out there that I know out of all the 1,800 people that I'm friends with on Facebook and in the Vegas groups and stuff. And you were tagged, actually, right?
Yeah. Because I don't really look at Facebook that much, just because I'm an asshole. So I was talking to Mikey earlier about my trolling and shit like that. It's like I try not to troll because I know some people like me, and I don't want to ruin that between us.
Yep, I hear you there.
One man's practical joke. But yeah, Kevin actually tagged me into your post, and I've been reading tarot cards for better or worse since like 2007. I think is when I got like my first deck of cards, and then it kind of just opened up. I don't know. I don't want to call it like astrology, but like a more psychic kind of like world for me.
So no, totally. And I want to get into that, but like, how was like your introduction to it, and then also like the acceptance, like for you to be like, the interest into learn to read the cards, or
for me to get into it, I mean,
like how did you get introduced to it, first of all?
Like it's kind of weird because like I was pretty like raised like pretty heavily Christian, like 6, sometimes 7 days a week. Like I was in church. It was like church, school, whatever. So I was probably 16 going on 17. Like I had a job, so I was like, I don't have to go to church every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
go
right.
to American church. And I think my homegirl just had her parents. They were always just kind of like more like worldly, I guess, like more traveled. I would guess that's the best way to put it. And so they just had different shit around their crib, whether it was like, oh, this is a statue, or blah 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 blah. I happened to be in New Orleans, and I was just walking the streets. I walked into a shop, and I was just kind of drawn to like some cards. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get some. Like, it's not super interesting. I was always kind of like open to stuff, but then I kind of just.
So that was almost an impulse. It was kind of like an energy that drew you to it.
Yeah, well, that's like the first card. So there's like 78 cards, 22 trump cards, and then it's like a regular deck of cards. You got your 56 with all your different suits and stuff like that.
So yeah, you're gonna have to explain this to me, dude.
Yeah. So it's funny, like even when you were just like leading into this segment, just saying, oh, it's on an impulse. So the trump cards, it's not like 1 to 22, it's 0 to 21. So 0 is actually like the fool. So that's like the same thing. It's like not necessarily doing something on an impulse, but it's like fuck it. And it's basically a picture of a guy about to walk off a cliff. That's what the first card is.
That's like my fucking life right there, dude.
It's him.
But it's
nailed it.
You know, all the trump cards, they kind of lead to like
How did it get the name Trump card though?
Okay, so it used to be like an actual playing card game. So you would have your regular cards that you would use in the regular deck, even though they all had like whatever symbols or whatever. But you know what I mean? It's still the same thing. Like 3 of spades would be 3 of wands. 3 of hearts would be cups, and so on and so forth. Like the suits still translate to this day. Then you just had those 22 cards that were just bigger. They could trump the other cards. So that's all it was.
Okay.
So a lot of people say out of the arcana or arcana, however you want to say it. But, you have your major arcana, which is like the trump cards, and the minor arcana, which is all the more subtle symbols and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I've heard these terms, the major arcana, and is it just a regular arcana? The arcana, and I know. I mean, how does it go?
Okay. So you got your major arcana.
Major arcana.
Yeah. So you got 22. Those are the trump cards. So you got 22 cards in the major arcana, 22 major arcana, 56 minor arcana. And you can kind of read them however you want. Some people will, shuffle their trump cards separately from whatever. It's really like a personal thing. Like if you were to build an altar to whatever it is you just personally, truly believe in ultimately about the universe. Like that's kind of like how tarot cards are. Some people describe them as basically like training wheels for like psychic abilities and stuff. I don't necessarily subscribe to that, you know what I mean? I just kind of go off of what I feel, period, in life.
Yeah.
But I like to read cards because it gives me personally a fresh perspective on shit.
Do you find that like, I don't know how to put this with like, but like you kind of get superstitious with it where you kind of got to do it just to get the right answer. It's kind of like, it's almost like the people that, sometimes they just need to flip a coin to make a decision. They want to do something, but then there's like, I know better. Let me flip a coin. I'm going to do 2 out of 3. I'm going to do 5 out of 7.
I think it's a majority. All right. So,
is it anything?
Who Alan Moore is?
The guy that wrote the stories, the Alan Moore.
Yeah, V for Vendetta, Watchmen.
Yeah.
Like
I couldn't think of Watchmen,
but I mean he's basically a magician, and depending on who you ask, like a shitty person. But I digress.
No, I've heard that actually.
Yeah.
That he's a magician or whatnot.
Yeah. So look into it. Take it from what you will, humble listeners. But gentlemen and ladies.
No, 100%, dude.
But what was I getting at? Oh, what you're describing, just like, oh, do I need to do it just to find the answer to something? His description was funny because he would say, that just makes you a twat. Like if you know what I mean? Like why would you ask? Let's put it this way. If you were that superstitious and you thought that it would make a difference and you could actually leave it to chance and find out, like, why would you just keep fucking with your chances before you might as well just go do what you want to do anyway? Like, why ask if you're not going to be settled? You're not going to be satisfied until you get the answer you want.
So
that's not a reason for a question, you know. So
this is that's something that's been asked or mulled over by people, or it's like something that people would do.
Absolutely. Like, I think if you Google it, you'll probably find the most like starter kind of information, or DuckDuckGo. You could try that too. But divination addiction, where there's people that are just like, I have to know. So now your candle budget is way out of control, and you know what I mean. You got eight different decks of cards, and
before you leave the house, you're fucking looking at the cards to see how your trip to McDonald's is gonna go.
yeah,
and shit.
yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? Like,
Yeah, and it's like I've done that in learning. If you're learning how to do something, okay, then sure, just do a tarot reading about whatever, just so you can get acquainted with the meanings of that card, even though ultimately it might not be something that matters. You know, it's cool to get, but after that, it's like, I don't know why you'd waste your time reading something that doesn't matter. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, unless you really just wanted to practice, like you just do a professional, and it's like you want to meditate on that kind of, you know what I mean?
You know,
ever studious.
You know what's kind of crazy though is a lot of people, they think that this is kind of Wiccan, hippie-ish,
I agree. I think so.
New Age kind of stuff, but it's been going on for ever, a long time, even before like playing cards, right? You know, I mean, this is like a
divination itself, definitely. I say tarot cards, but that was like 1400s, I think, is when cards came about and card games and shit.
You look at like the royalties have been like, you know, it's almost like the rolling of the bones, you know, the reading of the bones, these different, you know, energy sources or
tea leaves. Some people read leaves, you know.
Right?
What I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
There's like a magic book. I've never read it, but it's like basically the like philosophy of birds, right? So you can like figure out a yes or no to a question by like how a bird flies by you.
Whoa.
So
Really?
if it flies like horizontal from left to right, or like how many birds it is, you can tell.
That would fuck me up, dude, because I really like birds, and I'm a big, you know, like I like bird watching. You know, I wouldn't have a bird as a pet or anything. My buddy's got this beautiful macaw.
They're meant to fly free.
Well, I mean, no, this thing's gonna fucking live to like 80 years old, dude.
Yeah.
They live forever, you know.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. He's like, dude, this bird's gonna outlast me. you
Yeah,
know?
same with the tortoises and stuff. Yeah. it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. We had one. We had a tortoise that was like fucking 40 years old, dude, and I was like a kid. You know what I mean? Like things just cruising around. But anyways, I've always liked birds, you know, bird watching stuff. I try to get the hummingbirds in my backyard, putting feeders up. I got, you know, I got to get a different bird feeder because they just eat. I fucking fill it up and it's gone in a day. Like I was saying. But anyways, that would fuck me up, dude, because then I'd be like, what does it mean? Like, it'd be too much, dude. I'm like, dude, you know, I see it. I'm looking for it. You know what I mean? I'm looking for it. So then it would be a problem because
you can't look for it. Like you gotta.
Well, I'm already looking for birds. So
Okay.
I'm like, the red-tailed hawk,
that.
what does that mean?
What does
You
it
know?
mean? He flew this way.
But that's like a
See birds flying in reverse.
That's a superstition part of it, right?
That kind of goes like with the black cat, like crossing
Right.
in front of you type of like, now it's bad, right?
So it's like,
yeah.
I'm thinking of my question now. You don't even like wait for the bird. Like if you're wondering some shit and then you see the bird, it's more ominous than you actively trying to divine information from that. It's more like you're going to take that as a sign. You know what I mean? Like, did two birds fly this way or that way? You know what I mean? Like I said, did they fly horizontal? Did the bird, if you passed a bird, was it on your right or your left? Like that's the type of shit that goes down. It's funny, and I'm not saying this to be fucked up, but this is a conspiracy podcast, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so
Well, I mean, we're just
It's open. You're good.
Yeah.
okay, well, yeah. So, but it's just
we'll go there. We will go there.
Okay, so
Go there.
like where I live, like I mean, like I live like in Henderson, but like it's like urban enough, suburban, whatever you want to call it. I have an apartment, and it's right next to a golf course. So there's like these like
What golf course?
what is it called?
Wild
Crazy
Horse?
Wild Horse.
Wild
Wild Horse,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I play there all the time.
Dude, I was right next to it. I have probably yelled at you.
Not me. Maybe Dan Hall, but not me.
I'm just tired of these people playing ultimate goddamn frisbee right next to my window. Like, but there's like,
Oh, that ain't me. I'm playing
okay.
golf.
There's like a hole in the corner. Like, I live right the fuck there. It's like, and so October 1st, right? Like, what year was whatever the shooting was? What year, that was 2017,
17, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It was like one bird. Now I can't remember the actual bird philosophy, but it was just crazy because birds don't really stop right there. Not like that. Like there's pigeons and shit, but this was like a I guess a hawk. That's how I would describe it. It wasn't a pigeon. It wasn't no sky rat bird. It was a real fucking bird.
Yeah.
And it just like landed and just like looked at me and then like flew the fuck off. And I was just like, again, I was like, I don't know how that bird shit works, but that was weird. You know what I mean? I just got that feeling. And then later that day, I was like, God damn, like, what did that bird do? Like,
yeah, right.
Like, what was he trying to tell me? You know what I mean?
I wish I knew what kind of bird it was. Like,
I
if
don't
it was,
know.
you know, there's.
I want to say like a falcon or something. That's what I want to say, but I don't even know if we have falcons in the
Hawks
area.
around here.
Yeah, we have. I mean, well, there's different kinds. They're not like what you'd think of like your falcons, but there's like.
Plus, there's tons of birds that were pets that got out and shit, or people just let their pet birds go. Like, I've seen crazy birds out here. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, dude.
There's the kestrel. That's like a falcon, but you know.
This was like it was like brown, like, and like I said, it was like sizable. Like just looking at the way
Could
it
have been
was
a
standing.
red-tailed hawk or
maybe
what
like
is it?
a
Is it a Hoopers? Is it a Hoopers or a Cooper's? I think it's called a Hooper's hawk.
You must be asking him.
Yeah,
No, I'm trying to.
I don't
yeah,
know.
if
I don't
anybody's heard
even.
anything.
I know birds by the colors. Like I'm like that is a bluebird. like if your bird has a name of what it does, okay. I don't know the place. I know woodpeckers because what the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean. But
How crazy would it have been if it was an owl?
Well, that would have been like the perfect symbolism. Yeah, right. But
That would have been total Illuminati, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking the owl is like the symbol of the Bohemian Club.
oh really?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I just associated with death.
That's the place to be. Is that the next soiree, Mikey?
I've been around that place. Like I've dabbled around that place and have met some people around there.
What, at the Bohemian Club?
Oh yeah. It's well, they have the main. They have offices in the city of San Francisco.
Yeah, they do Craigslist things for help. They'll hire like seasonal help or whatnot.
Like if you walk by their building in San Francisco, if you stop, there's like a speaker on top of it that'll be like, "Move along."
Oh wow.
Yeah, like move along. Just keep moving. Or like if you try to like throw trash out, like there's an alley that goes down the side of it. Like I went down there once and tried to like throw some trash away. What are you doing here? It just comes like a voice, like instantly.
What?
It's like a live voice, like you're talking to someone.
That's nuts, dude. Because when we were at the when I was doing the tinfoil hat comedy show, me and one of the guys, we went Ryan. We went and to the Masonic Temple, and there was like we were out live streaming. A bunch of goons came
That's
out.
been my profile picture on Instagram forever. That's the owl.
The Mason,
Oh, yeah?
the Masonic goons came after you.
Yeah, when they're out, they were like standing out there and they were staring at us like. Then they started following us. We were live streaming. It was on Instagram.
Now, mind you, to the defense, there's been a lot of threats against Masonic temples lately.
Oh, I'm sure.
So they're always on high alert. Like they're always on high alert.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I would just assume there anyways. But no, I mean, it was a beautiful place. But they and then they had the church like right next door, the big cathedral or whatever. But yeah, they were following us for a little bit. Just on the property. Just on the property. We tried getting in. We tried going, but they were preparing for a show. They actually had like music or like singing.
Oh, you were
events
I know you were on California Street.
I don't remember where I was.
You said in
walking.
San Francisco. You went to the big
like the Temple
the
Theater
event center.
Yeah, it was like
A lot of comedians film their specials there. That's a great place.
they had this crazy artwork that was all like through there. But I was more blown away by the Catholic Church. All the fucking
As an adult, you were blown away
yeah,
by the Catholics, you say?
Yeah, no, terrible choice of words, but the stained glass and all the detail and everything in there, and for how long ago it was built. I mean, that thing was built in the 1800s or whatnot. So, but sorry,
it's
going
all good.
off of the old path there.
It's all good. What was I saying? Oh, we were just talking about different types of like divination. Oh, on another note on the bird thing, because like I said, for me, I'm more general in psychic shit. Like my knowledge of it is like as pure experience. You know what I mean? Like that's what I would say. I've never been a part of a club.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Here's an interesting thing, dude. My house, my backyard, I didn't get any hummingbirds. You know,
Really?
I couldn't get hummingbirds. See them all over, but they'd never come to my fucking my thing.
I get them often enough. You know, what I mean?
I changed my hummingbird feeder stuff. I started making my own hummingbird feed, and it was up there for a couple weeks. Never had one come by, dude. As soon as my grandma died, fucking all of a sudden we started getting hummingbirds.
Really?
To the fucking yeah, dude. And that was like her thing at the house. At her house, they had hummingbirds all throughout there. They had on the they put when she was in her room before, she would sit there and they'd put these little hummingbird feeders on the windows and they'd fly right up so she could just watch them and shit. But yeah, as soon as she passed away, man, they fucking started showing up in my backyard. How crazy is that?
Huh? Maybe they didn't know where else to go, huh?
Bird law.
Yeah. Bird law. What do you have under that hat? No, yeah, that's how it goes now. I don't know. I think that people have like familiars and shit. It's not necessarily like a witch thing. I think that people do have like their connections to shit, and it can be like expressed. I don't know if that's like a transfer of energy or whatever it is, but I definitely think that shit is true. Like
Some witch clients.
you say,
Well,
really?
And they're always talking to me about it, and I'm like, dude, that's not crazy, but like interesting. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, that's like, it's always intriguing when they're in here talking. It's like really weird.
Well, see, that's the thing is like people are into it and it's strange and it's weird. But then when you go out through history and you actually, or if some of these people, when they get like kind of exposed, like politicians, big business people, they're all into this stuff. Like Reagan had like his own psychics.
Why do you think I'm trying to get famous, dog?
Yeah.
Shit. This is another avenue. No, I'm
fucking
playing.
what's that kid? The Tyler, the Hollywood medium.
I don't even watch this type of shit.
It's
so I don't
actually a
even
pretty
know.
good show. My wife watches it.
I don't know it.
But the dude, I can't think it's Tyler something, but he's this kid. He from a young age he was able to kind of like get like visions or talk to people on the other side. So then he goes and meets people and he basically just sits there and he doodles and stuff like pops in his head and he's just like, oh, someone from this side is trying to talk to you. Da, 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 you know about this.
Tyler Henry.
Tyler Henry, is that his name? And yeah, and the thing is everybody. I mean, it's a produced show, but like even I guess leading up to that show, everybody's like, no, man, he's been legit like his whole life. But
He goes on the road and everything. Mm-hmm. He tours. Oh, that's crazy.
I can't imagine. Because like I've taken, trust me, I'll take money for tarot readings, but I normally don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll like if I'm really in a bind or if I have time, honestly, I'd be like, okay, I'll have like a $5 or some shit. You know what I mean? And like open that shit up. But I normally, it's weird reading for other people for
can
money.
you do a reading like online?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Like,
really?
you
I didn't know that.
I can
thought
do
you
a
had to
video. A lot of times what I do is like
That's cool.
I'll read the cards and I'll just describe it to somebody like in a YouTube video. I'll give them whatever like still shots of whatever. And I like to the few times that I have done it, I have like a small enough green screen. I mean a reasonable green screen. It's a green screen, doesn't matter how big it is, right? You know what I mean?
Y'all need that green screen,
Right.
son.
But
we had this
just so I could
crazy
do it
guy.
like the old school, like Miss Cleo shit. So I would put like a gif
yeah,
of like
baby.
a running waterfall behind me and shit like that. Like just that's what my shit, because I think that shit is just interesting. Like that's what people really want to see is they want you to talk to them for 15, 20 minutes and about their problem and just think about it. You know what I mean? They want you to talk about them, and then ultimately they don't feel bad about how they decide because.
There's a lot of like YouTubers that are doing like horoscopes and stuff too, and like millions of followers.
Yeah,
millions
absolutely.
of followers.
I think astrology is
I wanna
like
start a church, dude.
it's back and
Right?
forth.
Oh man, I saw a funny meme the other day. It was like the improper way to beg for money, and it showed it like a homeless guy holding a sign, whatever. And it's like the proper way to beg for money. It was like a priest just standing at the altar. I was like, oh shit, because they're getting paid.
There's two types of people in this world: those who fucking add and those who fucking suck from it. Dude, that's those people right there. So, how long does a reading go? What's the process? What's the motivation in, are you pinpointing it at something? Is it just like in general?
Like I find for best results, you want to do an open-ended question about, something you want to know about. I don't know, this might sound like backwards, but you don't want to ask something you don't want to know, right? Like, I have never done a reading about anybody I was in a relationship with, right? You know what I mean? I might do a reading for them about whatever, but I'm not going to necessarily be like, how's my relationship with this person going? Like, that's a little bit just, I don't know. It's like too close. Like, it's just weird. You know what I mean? I might ask another person who reads, but the time it takes, it depends. Like, most days I read just one card for myself. Like, okay, this is a general card for this day. Maybe something that the universe might be trying to tell me. Like,
Do you do a shuffle?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like, I don't know the proper, I guess, amount of times to shuffle and shit like that. I normally shuffle 9 times specifically every time. And then, like, while you shuffle, because they have different meanings when they're reversed. So it's like you shuffle whatever, and then you would actually legit reverse the shit like that, and then continue to shuffle like however you want. I mean, you could check these out, honestly. There's no some people, I'm not one of those people like puts like curses on shit.
No, I mean,
my thing is like lucid dreaming. Honestly, that's kind of also how I got into tarot. So I started keeping a journal every day.
Wow.
And
I don't have dreams.
Really?
I don't have any dreams, dude.
Wow.
I catch some good ones every now and then, but I wish I dreamed more for sure.
Very rarely.
I have dreams all the time. Like, I got good enough at lucid dreaming that pretty much when I go to sleep, I can decide if I'm going to like stay awake while I'm asleep.
Yeah.
If that makes
Oh,
sense.
wow,
for
yeah.
sure.
You know what I'm saying?
So if you're flying, you can control the flight.
Yeah, well, you can. I mean, I guess you're more prone to the consciousness, and then it's like a muscle, like anything else. So it's like,
I would love to learn
Yeah.
to do that, but I just don't. I don't have fucking dreams. But then again, when I do have dreams, it's usually because I am like stone cold sober. I don't have any weed in my system. But if I have any weed in my system, I don't have any dreams. And let me tell you what, dude, I've had weed in my system since I was like 8 years old. You know what I mean? I don't have like your normal like.
If there's no weed in your system,
Well,
you're just dreaming of weed.
what is like?
Yeah.
What is a normal dream? Like, all right, I ask you. You say you have dreams sometimes. Like,
Well, I like
okay.
the dreams that are like wild. Like, like
Right.
sometimes your dreams are like, this could only happen in a dream. Like,
These are the best ones.
characters are there, like it's like the situations are like really just strange and abnormal. I can't really recall any exactly.
I had a
but
dream
yeah.
where I fought Mike Tyson in a Camry. Like, I don't know why that shit was just lit. I was like, why are we such good friends, Mike?
Yeah.
We can fight like this, but still drive and go see a movie. Like, I don't know. It was just like an awkward, not even awkward, just a weird dream.
But
to
that's what I'm
have.
saying. Like, that's the
Yeah.
best part about dreams is sometimes they're just so far out there. It's like, wow, that's crazy. Like, why would
I've
my
had a
mind even
dream
think of that?
rewind. Have you ever had this? I've had a dream end, right? Like, some people say if you die in your dream, you'll wake up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, like if you die in your dreams, you die for real. But
I've heard that, but I've never. From the dreams I have had, I've never.
I've died in dreams, and then like the dream, it's been like end scene, and then it just
Yeah.
like it'll go black for a second, and then like another dream will start like that.
Whoa.
Yeah, or like I said, I've had dreams end, and I've been kind of like confused. And it will rewind, and I've had dreams have alternate endings like that. you know
Oh,
what I
shit,
mean?
man.
So like I said, the stuff.
I'm not willing to quit weed for that, but no.
Try it.
Well,
No
people,
way,
that's
dude.
what,
Never.
don't quit. Do what works for you. Definitely. But some people say like, oh, everybody goes to the flying when they hear like lucid dreaming. They're like, oh, okay, so if you can you
Well,
control
I've
whatever?
had-
It's
I've
like you
had-
can control everything. You know.
Well, I've
what I
had
mean?
like dreams where I had the ability to fly, like just jump and just Peter Pan it, and then like it's like you lose confidence in the flight, and all of a sudden you don't know if you're gonna fucking crash, if you're gonna hit a telephone line, but then you get it right, and it's like
Yeah.
that's just kind of what I think of, like you can control it, because I am in the times that I've had those dreams, I have not been able to control it,
I think it just takes like, I don't know, like practice.
It's
You
almost well, I mean, it's almost like you'd have it for a minute, but you know, like you said, it was like riding a bike. The first time I was riding a bike, like just times where you got it, but then you get the wobbles or you can't make the turn or, you know, you don't know how to maneuver it. But, yeah, I wish I did like have like actual dreams. Like I do like visualization and a lot of,
That's what
when it was-
scares me, dude. Like I can't.
to-
I'm not a good. I can't sit the fuck down. That's not. I can't. That shit is
Well, see,
scary to me.
I took. Well, see, I took. I went to transcendental meditation course,
Okay.
and it's like a 3-day. You have to like they only do it. You have to do it 3 days in a row, and they teach you the history and the techniques, and then how to like manage or go through it, and that that's helped me out a lot because I don't get a lot of sleep between my job and my kids and all that stuff, dude. So I'll get my meditation in, and that really rights the ship for me. But it.
Did you want to check these out, Mikey? It's up,
when
yeah, if you guys want like a reading or whatever, like I said, like if you want like one card, I could do a past, present, or future reading. That's just normally what I do, or I could do like an 11 card reading if you have like a whole question that you want to ask or anything. I don't have any questions in my life right now. Not even like that. Like I've already done the readings that I need to do for like myself. That's what I say. If you got something, I'm down for whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I was
Just saying.
Yeah. Like because I think it's cool. Like I've gotten to do live readings. Like there was a show that Cecilia Sample had me on, and she actually had me like read tarot cards like before and after the show, and that was super cool. That's actually where those cards came from. She got me those cards for that show, which is very nice. That's a nice thing.
Those
cool.
Those are. I like the artwork on it.
Yeah, like I had the first one I had was kind of like it was like a golden Byzantine art and shit like that. So they were like all like glossy and shiny and golden and shit like that. Like the first ones I had, I was like, oh, these are dope. But for me, I'll just get too familiar with a deck sometimes. You just get tired of reading the same book over and over again. So
Right.
you like, I normally like, I'll give it away. I don't even like hold on to it for later. I'm like, whatever. And then just get another one. I had one that was based on the Divine Comedy, which was really cool. And that was like all the artwork. So it was like Inferno and Paradise and fucking, Purgatory and shit like that. And this one is cool because this is just the regular Rider-Waite deck. But the one I had before, my girlfriend got for me, and it was called Tarot. It was like New Vision Tarot or Tarot of the New Vision. And it was all the traditional artwork, but from the opposite perspective. So like, this is like the Nine of Swords. It's like this girl's crying. She's desolate and shit because mentally she's jammed up. That's basically what the card means. So it would just show this from the other side. So like the swords would be in front of her, or you might be able to see, from this perspective, what she's really fucking crying about. It's a guy with his hand cocked back, like, I'll tell you again. Like it could be fucking anything. And I like flipped out on my girlfriend. I'm like, motherfucker, you bought bootleg tarot cards. These are all backwards. Like, what fucking country did you get this from? And I'm like, oh, that's the real theme. Like, what the hell?
Real quick, you know how you just pulled that one up? Would that mean anything just because it was random? Even
No,
though,
that's
like,
no.
Does it have to be? Does it have to be like there's like a question or something, or something directed?
Yeah,
It
it
has to be
would
directed
definitely.
towards.
For me, I don't normally like write it down anymore, but I'll take the time to actually think about the specific question. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, why not just ask about things in general? Which is what I normally do when I'm reading something. So it's like, oh, if you want to know about shit in general, you can tell from the cards what realm things are. So like again, that was like the Nine of Swords. I know just from the being swords that it's gonna be a matter of like mental attitude as opposed to like mental spirituality. You know what I'm saying? I could tell it's something more along the lines of intelligence, as opposed to if it was like coins or pentacles, that would be something tangible, like that could be used as a resource, or more, they're normally associated with like the earth, where swords are more like air. So your mind is quick to do whatever. Your body might not be so fast because it's more weighed down like the earth, so on and so forth. And
Deep.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You get the time to like think about all that shit, because then there'll be other symbolism in the cards. So like there's the magician. So almost every magician card you have is going to be a guy in a kind of like Crowley-esque body of light type pose. And he's going to have like a finger like pointing to, you know, the heavens or up above, and then one to the ground, you know.
As above, so below.
Yeah. Yeah. And then basically, but also acting as that intercessory, you know what I'm saying? Or transference of energy, just that thing. It's just like, yeah, I'm divining this from here. I'm bringing it down here, you know, and it's the same thing, as you said, the basic principle of correspondence, right? Depending on the deck, that symbolism is like crazy. So I had one that was based on the New Testament, and so it was like Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. But then there's other decks where it's like, it's Hello Kitty. You know what I mean? It still means the same fucking thing. But I mean, like,
Baby shark.
so it's like you take that.
Yeah,
But then
sorry.
there's also a lot of like again, there's biblical influence on different cards, you know, and just with like the numbers and everything, right? So you can break down the numbers against each other, or if certain cards repeat, like if you have 4 4s, it might mean one thing or another. That's one of the things I don't know off like the top of my head, but there's like, you get like doubles, triples, and like so on and so forth. Like I know that 2 4s means insomnia because I draw 2 4s all the time.
What's the worst case scenario?
In tarot reading,
Yeah.
the worst case scenario is you get what you want and it won't be enough.
Greed.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's kind of like personal, but I think the worst answer you're generally going to get from something is that no matter how hard you try, it's just like you're not gonna make that goal. So, and with that outcome, because there's always the like perspective, and you can even divine that from other cards. It really, really depends. The reason you're not going to get it is because like you either don't actually want it or you don't need it, and you need to be focused on something else. That's the hardest answer. I say that just because it's hard. That's hard
deep
for me.
right there, son. Because holy shit, I mean, we're all going for something in life, dude. But I mean, really, that's like the fucking. You know, I always talk about self-auditing and stuff, man, and that's a tough fucking thing to.
It's got to be skill number one, I think. You know, you can't obsess over yourself or self in general, but you gotta accept some shit. You know, you know what I mean.
Well,
there's people out here that's like, I'm gonna be on TV tomorrow, son. Nah, it's not. I'm going to Hollywood. You know, it's like,
oh man, yeah. See,
Shaka Khan, nigga, it's not going down, bro.
See, I don't even. I've never even entertained like going out. I mean, now I want to go out there just because. You know, to California just to tell jokes, but I'm not trying to live that fucking, not trying to go Hollywood. Like I've never wanted to be an actor or anything. I just want to tell jokes in front of audiences. You know what I mean? Like in front of a crowd that wants to laugh. That's like, no, man. I mean, when you really push for something, you know, it's kind of crazy in life, dude. Like, you know, it's always been like you push for something, you've worked for something or, and you didn't get it, and it's like devastating. But then, like right around the corner, like that better thing that was like, you know, that better person or that better location or that other gig or something. Like, it's weird. So that was a great little realization, that you said right there. Cause
I mean, I said, Trez, I get it from personal experience, bro. Like, I remember like. I really like stopped really keeping a journal because I always put like I could do like a little bit of dream recall. Then however I'm just feeling about shit in general. It just helps me deal with shit. You know, I'd rather write negative shit and whatever penance for it than actually like live with a negative attitude. Like,
yeah, right.
Although I am still a dick, but that's just because it's funny.
Yeah, gotta have some fun. Right?
Yeah. But I started. Or periodically, like, I'll see, it's like, man, I'm making if I go back and read these journal entries, it's like, I've made the same journal entry talking about the same shit for how long? just really think about that shit and just be like, do I need to ever think about this again, or can I just accept that as part of my life? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And I say that in reference to tarot because like I have people that'll be like, I want to know, am I going to college? You know what I mean? If it's like a younger person, and I'm just like, sure, I'll do that for you. You know what I mean? Like if you want to know that, but they don't want to know that so much as they want to know if I can guess what, you know what I mean? Will you tell me I'm a good person? And that's why I don't really like to read for like dumbass people. But if, like, I'll be honest, it's like, I'll have people be like, are you legit? It's like, I mean, I know enough about my shit and I stay learning it. I mean, like, I don't know how much you've learned about any one particular thing in 12 years, but as a hobby, you know what I mean? Like, and, something that I have gotten paid for, and like, you know what I mean? I'd say too, like mostly positive results. Some people just aren't happy. And, I'm sorry, you know, like,
no, true,
you
true.
know, it's like, you can't be, I've told people the answers to some shit and they I can look at them and tell that they're just like, how do you know this? And it's like, I don't know this. I'm just reading the cards. Like, I know what they mean and you don't. You can Google this shit. I'm not making it up, right? You know what I mean? Like, you just want me to read it for you and like put a bow on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Reality is like, you can read the shit yourself. Like, it's not really complicated, but I think that some people are freaked out by like tangible things. They think that God only works if it's invisible. You know what I'm saying? And
Well, Mikey said he didn't want to know. He's like, I don't want to be read on.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Me, I do.
Yeah.
Me, I do.
You know, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't,
I drop acid and do shows.
Dude.
No, yeah.
dude, I don't get me started on LSD. That's like whew, the last trip. But yeah, I mean, like, I've already shuffled these to like my liking. I always tell people to just shuffle them however you want. So if you want to take them and turn them or however many times or whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. And then whenever you're ready, like, I'll do a reading for you, whether it's like
Do I gotta turn them?
you don't have to.
Should I like dim the lights? Or?
Nah,
right, dude.
that's the thing that's always so weird to me is like if I'm fucking with my cards in public, like, you know, people would just be looking at me, and it's just like, bruh, if I was holding a gun, you wouldn't even be looking at me. But you know what I mean? I got a deck of cards. And it's like, it does something to
I remember
people's
like back
psyche.
in the day, you'd see like older people playing like solitaire at the park and shit. You know, like that's kind of funny. You say like just like I never picture so I've never seen anyone out just doing like tarot cards at like the food court at the mall or Starbucks.
I don't really do it that way. Like, I might do it for myself.
That kind of stuff though.
Yeah.
Wait, you say what now?
I've been around people that like, you know, they didn't do it in front, but they were this wasn't that foreign to me, but I've never had a reading or anything like that.
We went to a party a couple years ago and they had all this like guest entertainment. It was crazy. It was like at this big ass like mansion.
This sounds awesome.
And there was like a tarot card reader, and then there was like something I forget, they had like something else, and they had like a magician walking around doing like card tricks and shit. And I remember like me and my wife got our cards read and shit. It was crazy. It was just like pretty like, I don't know. I'm just not around it a lot. You know what I mean? So it was like more intriguing. Like, oh wow, that's something cool.
I think that's how it is for most people. For me, it's just kind of it's been a constant. I'll put it that way, and that's really what matters more to me than anything else. Is just that taking that moment to either reflect, ask what if, you know what I mean? Just a mental head to toe,
just
on
like
yourself.
I'm assuming there's a whole community out there, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know how much I would call it a community. I suppose there's shops, they have businesses. So,
No, definitely you see the I mean, they do, psychic palm readings and stuff, but it says, you'll see the signs of a few places in town, tarot readings.
Yep.
There's a couple of bookshops. The Cat's Eye or something? Psychic Eye, something like that over on Charleston. It's been there forever.
Yeah. They have multiple locations, and I'm pretty sure there's one near the airport that I think is still open.
There was one on Pecos and Russell back in the day. I don't know if that one's still there.
Yeah, I've known a lot of people here in town that were like, they're Wiccan, and they were into tarot cards and
oh, my bad. Pick 11 cards, like however you want, but just pick 11 cards and just put them face down in one pile.
I gotta count them 11.
Yeah, I mean, like, They don't all have to be in a row. Like, you can pick them from anywhere. That's what I'm saying. But if that's how you want to do it, if that's what feels natural, then go ahead and go for it. I
See
don't.
the wheels turning.
Actually, there's 11 right in that grab.
Ah, Jesus.
What?
Come on, Rusty. Start the car.
What? Was I supposed to go all over? Why? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong?
I don't think you did anything wrong.
Okay,
honestly.
I don't know. Now I feel you got me second guessing my deal.
Okay, so like, do you have a specific question? Okay, so here's my thing. I'll say this before I'll say it in the right order. Fucking, I normally don't ask people what their questions are. That is the only maybe bonus content perk to me personally doing a reading for somebody is I don't know, and I don't necessarily want to, you know what I mean? But if you want to tell me, then I can talk more openly about whatever your issue is, and we can actually, like, share opinions on shit. But I normally read for people, and, like, they tell me if it's helpful or not, you know? Or I could just do, like, a general reading for you. Just be like, okay, boom, hey, check it out. Like, you asked, this is what you get, you know?
Well, I there was a couple questions that I had in my head, but they're totally unrelated, so I don't know which one to like go with. You know,
I would say definitely. All right, let's go. The one that you definitely don't know the answer to, like, or you know what I mean, like if you.
Fuck, I don't well, I guess I guess if I was just to go to the end of the question, or to answer the question, would just be to do it and find out.
Well, yeah, that's always like the main thing, and I always tell people.
So should I even ask those questions since I know that that's
like not that because you can get insight from shit. So it's not necessarily. It can be something that, like, you're familiar with, or you're like, okay, I'm kind of wondering about blah blah blah. Because like I said, I mean, like, yeah, ultimately, it is up to you. Like, I've gotten readings about shit that I was like, oh, that's kind of like more of a low key warning than sometimes it's that, like, it's not necessarily like, oh, you're on the right path, or like, here's the answer to your question. It's like, I always describe it as insight, basically, because you can hear that and be like, you know what, fuck that perspective. I don't want to be that person. And it's always up to you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This is not a legally binding contract like some psychic situations are. You know what I mean? No, we're not down at the crossroads. What's the one that you really want the answer to? That's the main reason to ask a question, though. The one that you really, really want the answer to. I don't think it'll make you a twat, because it's not like you get readings all the time and all this other shit and blah 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 blah. Like, it's kind of whatever you want.
Well, there's like there's one's more personal, but it's not like it would.
It's your podcast.
Oh, I know.
What do you want the viewers or the listeners?
Well, I'm saying there's like there's
ears.
There's one that's like, I have a question that's a little bit more personal. It'll be about like me, but at the same time, I really don't care. I just there is a curiosity there, but I don't care. And then the other one is just kind of like a it's about me, but it's beyond me though, that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, I'll say for my own sake, like I'm not. This isn't gonna make or break me as a psychic or any shit like that. Like, if I'm completely like off base with the answer, like, I'm cool with that. So just, you can ask the weirdest shit, like ask some weird shit. Then let's see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm down for. I almost never do the questions. It's like, let's see what happens. I'm always just like, oh, how's this job interview? How is blah blah blah.
Okay,
blah.
Well,
that's how I go.
Here's should I say the question?
It's up to you. You tell me.
Do I do that? Is it what?
I don't
Do
know.
I say
is
it
it
out
like
loud?
the birthday wish? You can't say it out loud, or
No, you can say it. You can say it out loud. Like I said, sometimes I just tell people that's just like, yo, if you don't care for me to know what it is, then I don't have to. I'm still gonna just read whatever the cards that you picked were. That's all I'm gonna do is just read them, like, because I just have my own experience with it. So hopefully it's helpful. That's all I offer people. It's like, yo, here's a chance to talk.
Really overthinking this.
Yeah, I was like, dude, this is a chance to just get into whatever.
I'm afraid
that
I'm going to
is.
start needing this for everything in my life, dude. That's what I'm afraid. I'm going to be like, yo, Randall, dog, do I do pizza or tacos tonight for the fan bam? Is that what's going on over here?
Pick my 11. You pick my 11. I know how it works. Pick 11. Let me know what we're eating.
I'll FaceTime you, doggy. Yeah.
Is it safe to fart or is it a shark?
Yeah, me and the missus. Do we take the excursion on the cruise or no?
I mean, I don't know. That's also one of those questions to ask. You know. There's, like I said, you get insight.
Oh,
into
I
it.
wouldn't want to know.
Exactly.
That's why I don't want to know anything.
No. This
wanna
is
know
okay. This is what I want to know.
Are you out now? Okay. All right. Now
this is
you
what I
got the
wanna know.
question.
No.
All right.
No, I already. I mean, well, see,
Don't act like I'm making you do this. Like,
No. I know.
like
I don't
you
want.
asked me to
No,
be.
no, not at all. I just don't want. I have one that might be a little too heartfelt, might be a little too weird or anything like that. So I'm gonna refrain from that question. Maybe on a maybe or maybe even I don't know.
Maybe off air, if you know what I mean, we can get it popping or whatever. Or
Well, I would like to do it too, but I don't want to make about. Actually, this is the thing I have a concern with, though. Okay, this is the thing I do have a concern with, and and it's a part of the whole podcast as well. Because I think it's outside of me. But the question I want to ask is like, my message gonna be heard by the masses, the majority? Is like, the thing in my message is to basically what Mark Twain said, but I discovered this in my own life. But when when you find yourself in the majority, it's time to stop and reflect. Like we're not thinking. We're very easily led astray.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole point behind this podcast, talking about stuff, is because it's different. People have preconceived notions about certain things just because they heard it from someplace else. Everything's all opinion,
Yeah,
and
popular opinions at that, are often incomplete. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of mainstream opinions that are actually
it's
totally logical. You know what I mean? And complete.
So like a big thing for me is like when we were watching the video and stuff is to question things and to stop and think. That's the whole thing behind the ThinkStopper.
Mm-hmm.
So my whole thing is like, will that message,
how impactful will the message be?
I want that vibration to reach out. That's the goal. I want it to ripple through out the universe to where it'll raise the conscious vibration, amongst people where, for some reason that just saying it just kind of sparks something to where people might just take that nanosecond instead of just impulse. They might give it a thought that is just enough to prevent something fucking life-changing in a bad way from happening, or you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's the thing, If I get somebody with the crazy shit that I post on Facebook to fucking stop and just look at something for a second, just give it a different thought. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to do, but I want a mass scale. I want it to go out there. I want to be in people's ears.
Let's check it out. Like, let's just read it. So
that weird?
No. I'm going to do the Celtic cross method. Okay. So, how do I want to do this? I'll just do whatever I want. Okay. So this is you in this situation, or in this case, like the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it is the 9 of chalices reversed. This is basically known as like the wish card. So this is almost an automatic yes. you know what I mean, for like whatever you're talking about. Mm-hmm. If there's any cards that ever indicate like absolutely yes, like the 9 of chalices is like
9 of chalices.
Yeah. So yeah, 9 of chalices, 9 of cups. Same as maybe like 9 of hearts. You know what I mean? But 9 is like one of those like. It's a magic number.
As
you know
I say,
what I mean?
that
It's
was like one of the Tesla numbers.
Yeah.
3, 6, and 9 were.
It's a cubed number. You know what I'm saying? The first one, it's the last number. You know what I'm saying? Like it's 0 to 9. Like everything else, it's like it starts over after 9. So it's good. You know what I mean? I would definitely say yeah already. But what? We got 10 more cards to go. Let's make it a whole story. Let's go on an adventure. Let's see what's happening.
Up and away.
Yeah. So this is the Three of Pentacles. This is normally a card about like, and this is also reversed. So a lot of times that means like you don't want to block that energy, or it's already underway. Like that's kind of what that means. With most cards.
Don't want to block what energy?
Like, for example, like the Three of Pentacles, like upright, is basically about like, hey, good relationship with like supervisor, knowing your role, not in like a condescending way, but whatever the powers that be, your constituency, whatever is getting you that bread, that's what you got with like the three. Upside down, it might be an obstacle in the way of that. So this covers you. So this is you. This covers you. This just kind of is like the environment right now. So, like I said, it looks like things are like generally serviceable, considering the Nine of Chalices here too. Say it was a different card, like this might not be such a good thing, but it looks like a minor problem. So this crosses you. This shows you the influence of things like going back and forth, because we're going to do the past and the future here in a second. So,
okay. Yep.
Okay. So you have the Five of Wands. That's also reversed. So a lot of times that means like there's like
my mask backwards.
What's up? Well, I was gonna say, yeah, hustling backwards. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like you can be that way on a creative level, but no matter what, good or bad, that's the vector that you can use for change. As far as I guess the explosion of the podcast, or whatever you want to call it, the influence. You know what I mean? You wanted a genuine influence, right? Mm-hmm. So that's going to come through like the creativity. So all of this stuff I'm basically saying already is like, all right, that's true. Like that's you. All right, boom. Behind you is the Wheel of Fortune. So have you gotten lucky, or has it been like a whole bunch of a lot of shit going on like lately? Like
I just in life, like, I'm very fortunate at what I do, and I'm here with you guys, you know what I mean, and good health. So to me, that's a big win.
This is a trump card, right? So this is number 10 in the out of the trump cards. It basically is
feel
like,
good.
Yeah, this is about abundance. It can signify change. It's definitely like, okay, you've been experiencing success. It probably you've definitely seen worse days than what you've seen lately. You know what I mean? And that's one of those things you can say about anybody. But again, I'm not trying to like. I'm not doing any magic. I'm just reading the shit, right? Mm-hmm. So what? Are you tired of this shit? So this is the four of the Four of Chalices, right? And so I like this card because it's.
What do you mean you tired of this shit?
It's like, okay, so I just think the artwork on this card is always like so funny, because it's basically like, okay, you've been enjoying life, again with the abundance and like, creativity, getting what you want, what you wish, doing what you like want to work for. Like sometimes that's not always totally satisfying, or it's just like, I don't need to take on another thing. You know how when things are kind of in abundance, it can lead to like, this is Vegas, like what is it, revelry and excess, so that type of shit. You know what
totally.
I'm saying?
You can sit back a little. You can get too comfortable.
Yeah. So you don't want to do that. You want to hit cruise control. You know what I'm saying? At least that's what
you don't want to hit cruise.
No, you do. You know what I mean? That way you can handle what you need to do. Because the thing about a podcast is consistency. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay if once you hit a good pace, who are you racing, really? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I hear you there. Yeah.
So beneath you, so you have a good foundation. Again, you have the so 2 4s, insomnia. Fucking I don't know if you actually do, but like
no, but would that be like thinking nonstop about?
I always kind of, because I sleep weird hours anyway. Sometimes I sleep during the day because I should be, and sometimes I sleep during the day because I couldn't sleep at night. You know what I mean? So I don't know how it necessarily works for you, but I still, with this, so far so good. And also, like, with this is beneath you. So these are things that are, like, kind of past. But it's pretty much...
What is that card again?
No, this is the Four of Wands.
Four of Wands.
Yeah. And this is one of those cards that, like, it's good, whether it's upright or upside down. It's just that good. And it pretty much, if you want to take a look at it, it just signifies, like, happy home, foundation, contentment, all of that shit. This is incredibly positive reading. I almost feel bad because I feel like it would have been more entertaining if it was a bunch of negative shit.
No,
You know,
I don't
what
know. I mean,
but I mean, this is like pretty good. But this is also why I say it's cool to ask the questions, because sometimes you do want to like have the truth reaffirmed. But if you just keep doing it until you get the answer you want,
it's not like a death sentence if it's not your like. This is showing you that you need to maybe direct the energy to a different path so it doesn't go terminal or whatever.
It's you telling yourself, basically. Okay. And everything seems, just from like even like the suits that have come up, it seems like pretty balanced, which is cool, man. Like you got shit under control. Like, it seems cool. So this is what you can expect. So this crowns you. So that's the Page of Swords. Maybe you got like some kind of press coming, or you should like work towards that, or even like network or something like that. A lot of times these pages or knaves or like jacks in like a regular deck, they're like a lot about learning shit. And I don't mean it like, oh, like picking up a new skill, but just like advancing in certain types of skills, like what do I want to say? Listening. That's such a hard word for me to. Listening is not in my vocabulary, but it's about like this one right here is like kind of being like vigilant, and that's definitely a good thing in reference to a podcast like this, because you are talking about like all kinds of different shit, like being open. So, like you were talking about earlier, it's like, oh, people are sending me shit like I don't necessarily know. You know what I mean? Who is who and blah, 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 blah. But you know what I mean? I'm always looking for shit. People are hitting me up because they know I'm the type of person to do it. Like, that vigilance is a good thing, and like you can expect like more of that. So however you want to do that to continue to achieve your goals, like I say rock with that. All right. So then I always do like a little, this is like a cross, and then there's like a little tower here. And that's why I say always pick like 11 cards. Did I miss? Hold on. No. Well, we got 10, right? 1, 2.
Oh, did I miss one?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's all good. This will make this super easy, because now you can just shuffle for the last card, because that's the most important card anyway. So out of the cards that are left, like whether you want to shuffle, turn around, like whatever you want to do, like boom, that's super easy. So while that's going down, so this is like the Hierophant. This is like the 5th card in the Major Arcana. It's a card about, generally as I've learned it, it's about like traditionally it's labeled as a card of the priesthood, but it's all about this one right here.
Yeah.
All right, boom. It's all about you just looking at it already. That is like hilarious. So okay, so it's the 8 of Swords. That's the last card. But I'm gonna read these other cards before I get to that one.
Okay,
that's so funny. I told you, like it's funny though.
I know that looks bad. I got it, like that look in your eye, dude.
Better you than me.
It's like so funny. Like for anybody that is not as bad as it looks.
Okay. What to say?
Like I said, you gotta keep things in perspective.
Looks like a peed.
Yeah. Oh my god! So you have to.
Okay. So everything's positive till then. Can I reshuffle?
Until the
this
end.
Is where I'm getting at, dude. I would
over.
keep doing. Okay.
The thing is about like that. Once you get that result, then you can take that card, put it here, and then deal the next 10. You can do that if you want, but it's just going to give you more insight on this thing that you could just obviously be like, do I want that or not? But all right,
let's find. So we're talking about what was
this? Kindness. So this is you and your environment. So you're generally positive, nice, perhaps too nice. Who knows? But that's generally all that card really means to me. It's just like you're nice. You know what I'm saying? I
am too nice, dude.
Yeah. This is your environment. So, or you know what I mean, like your court, your season, whatever.
Am I seeing stars?
It's the absolutely, all of these coins. It's Lucini falling from the sky, son. Fucking,
It's like one of my favorite songs, stud.
This is the Camp Low of tarot cards.
This is it. What?
That is awesome. Basically, like this card just symbolizes, I mean, like just the foundation being complete. You know what I'm saying? I said like cards are the Pentacle cards are about like material shit. So you're likely to have everything that you need in a responsible way. So it's one of those things that kind of you want to ward off like gambling unnecessarily. Like if you have to take a gamble, it is what it is.
And we're not talking about sliding money into a machine. We're talking about like
life.
Okay. Well, that's my thing. I've always put everything on the fucking line. Everything I've ever done.
Oh yeah.
You know. Yeah. Every time. Yeah, dude. Yeah. You know.
So for this, I would say like even with guests you have, topics you touch, all of that shit, you just want to continue to, or you know, definitely more. Just make it apparent that like the shit is like legit and thorough. Like almost, I would say another thing to add to that, just because like my experience with this is always that like less is more. You know what I'm saying? Like because a lot of times our own personal visions or versions rather of or interpretations of what like being prudent is. A lot of times, like, we're way less prudish than we make ourselves out to be in our heads. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, oh, what? I'm a nice guy. You know, it's like, and you try to be, but it's like, you either are or you aren't. It doesn't really matter if you try. So, like, I would say, you know, don't compromise your, I don't want to say like morality, but the manners. You know what I mean? Even if that is at times of vanity to save face, don't even stop doing that. You know what I mean? It's very much like a roll with the punches type of card. As far as material things are concerned, like it's pretty much complete stability in that.
Well, I don't like any outward hostility, even with like people I don't vibe with. You know what I mean? I always try to make it seem like the people I don't like, you know, ultimately shouldn't know that I don't like them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be on my face. You know, sometimes I guess now I'm getting to the point where some people just can't control it. Like,
that's how I am. Everybody's like that about some people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm not weird.
No.
Right.
like I said, like, it seems where, like you're right where you, like, need to be.
So that card again was the...
This is the 10 of Pentacles. Or 10 of coins, you know, either way. This is the 5 of coins, which if you look at this, I mean, this kid is fucking crippled. And it's like, you know, it looks really like super bad, but it's more like you got to put yourself in the place to, I don't want to sound like, you know, ghetto Instagram girl, but you know what I mean, you got to receive your blessings, you know what I'm saying, like that you got to put yourself in that spot to get it. So just a quick flashback. So this crowns you the Page of Swords. You can be vigilant, and I can say as far as like things that will possibly happen, that's a like look out for like a message or whatever. That's kind of what this like suggests, is that like you don't want to be overlooking for shit. Like I said, I think you hit cruise control and you're going to be straight, because then you can really see everything around you, which is why I say this last card here is not so bad, with it being the 8 of Swords, because this woman, really honestly, we don't even know if she realizes that she's blindfolded. You know what I mean? Like, we have no idea what is going on in this fucking picture. Like, all of those swords down, like somebody could be rescuing her. And this card is all about basically like the unforeseen. So
that's like what I just grasped from that is like, in reality, what I'm looking, I guess, kind of in a sense, in a direction. What I'm looking at this, but that's telling me like what's really happening is off the radar.
Right. There's no way that you can know for sure. Like this card is literally like, you don't have a choice about whether you're going to see it or not. You know what I'm saying? But the
So
story,
we don't know if the blindfold ever comes off, huh? Or is it, or what's the deal?
the story in my head and what I believe about this card, and it's my story. I'm reading it after all, right? Fucking
Yeah, hey.
the story with
Don't
this
pan
is,
it up for me.
Yeah,
you know?
no, but
Don't
I'm
paint it up for me.
Yeah, no, but I'm like I'm being honest. Like my experience with the like this being a card of like not knowing shit. I used to get so frustrated when I got this card because I was like, oh, all of this. And you're not gonna tell me. Well, you're telling me that all the other shit is dope, and I'm a cool person in the way that I want to be. And I would be pissed the fuck off, like like if I got that answer in the past. But what I really realized is just like you have to wait for the blindfold to come off. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're bound, that doesn't mean that like you're gonna be executed. I mean, it's all like metaphorically speaking, you know what I mean? Just anecdotal, really. No real meaning to that. But if you're bound, that doesn't mean you're going to be executed. You have to be patient until they take the blindfold off. But you gotta do what the unforeseen or what the unseen wants you to fucking do before you can see
Can
it.
you see it again?
Yeah. You gotta do what they tell you to do, what you have to do. You have to go through that before you're going to be able to see. So whatever it takes to see the shit, just understand you're gonna have to go through it. Like that's the only, if you still want to know, that's the only thing that you can do. You have to go through it.
Like the initiation.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it that way, or like I said, you could be being rescued. You know what I mean? You could be being recruited, or you can be rescued, or you can be
Executed.
Yeah. But the possibilities are endless. They could leave you to starve.
There's no expression.
Nope.
In the face that there's no like, there doesn't seem like any struggle or
she's right next
or
to
panic. It seems she seems pretty calm. Now I'm a little confused at the feet, as in is she standing in the water, or is it kind of like of her feet kind of hanging, like dangling, like she's a little suspended above?
I always looked at I actually never really gave any thought to like the water, honestly. It looks like she's on the edge of the sea, right? Because there's a castle behind her. Mm-hmm. But I never thought too much about it, especially recently, because I've been looking at it backwards. Because this is the newer deck that I got, so I haven't. That's funny you would bring that up. I never noticed that she was standing in the water ever. I never noticed that. Like, and I sure as hell haven't seen it in a long time. Huh?
Let me see.
I wonder does numerology play involved with like the number of the card that comes out like that? You said that was the 8. Like 8's kind of like an infinity number, and it's like a positive number for like, I guess, the Chinese and their numerology or whatever. If it's the same numerology, I don't know.
I think it's like, what numerology do you actually believe in, right? So like for me, like I kind of tell my own little story, like 1 or like an ace is gonna be like a beginning or a change. 2 is like the you starting to see a balance. 3, you have like, you can make like a pyramid, right? Or you can make like an actual like housing structure with like 3 staffs if you needed to. But that's what you would need, right? Like you would have to have those points. 4, you can build, that's walls. 5, that's basically one of those like, number of man type of things, you know what I mean? 5 fingers, 5 toes, all of that other stuff. So you get the more visceral things about people. Like the 5 of Pentacles here that we have reversed is like, it's a card of like gold and gain and riches. That's why you see these people, like, that's what happens when you get rich. That happens to somebody. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you should think about. When you have a lot of shit, that's what happens. It has to happen to somebody, right? That's how the game goes, right? So it's not about.
Does it take from somebody else, though?
What's that?
Does it take from somebody else?
Doesn't matter if you did it.
Movement.
Right. It doesn't matter if you did it on purpose. It's no matter what. If somebody has, somebody doesn't. Like
so that means you got to give back to charity.
Yeah, at least I mean, just don't forget.
You got to help those less fortunate than you. I live by that though.
Yeah. Or you
try
can,
to,
but you can. It can also mean, don't forget where you came from in an aspect of, don't fuck up what you have, you know what I mean, and end up back on this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like why do you think rich people love being rich? Because being broke sucks, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if I was rich, I'd be trying to make so much more money. Like I'd be like, I will never be broke.
Yeah, no, totally. It's like you don't want to go back to the old job. You want to keep pushing and going towards the new, stepping up each time,
Yeah, you definitely want to be like, untouchable, in a way,
Well, you want to have that fuck you money.
Yeah. That's all it is.
That's all I really want. I want to have that fuck you money. You know what I mean? Like, not the whole, you have the KMA card. You get pulled over, and you can tell a cop kiss my. I'm not trying to pull laws and shit, but I mean that kiss my ass, fucking fuck you money. Like, I'm flying out tonight. Know what I mean? Like,
I gotta
I'm going.
go.
Yeah, we're going. We're doing shit. Oh, you wanna buy that? Oh, you wanna get that? You wanna get that $300 steak? Bam, whatever. Doing that shit.
Yeah,
that's what I want to have.
Just to see, just to see. But like I said, you gotta
see, and I would believe that wouldn't change me. I mean, from this standpoint,
I'm
it wouldn't.
telling you, it's not gonna change me. I'm gonna be the motherfuckers that people didn't know I was. All right, it's not gonna change me. You niggas don't know me. Like I was always like this.
Yeah, I just didn't have the wealth to show you.
Now I can say fuck you.
Yeah. You think, motherfucker? Oh, you changed? No, I didn't. No, I did not.
For sure.
You haven't seen my vision board,
Lack
son.
of money changed me.
Yeah, right.
Abundance brought me back.
Yeah, right.
But I just believe I was born rich. Everybody's rich in spirit.
Well, it's a feeling, right? You're just supposed to feel it.
That's what they say. You know what I mean? I believe that having that principle in my head, I have done better in life. I've also felt bad when things go shitty. So that's all that really is. Don't give up shit.
No, but because when you mentioned the Wheel of Fortune, you're like, I mean, like, I've made the decision to, like, feel good and like have positive energy. That's why today was kind of a bummer because, it got to me, dude, and I was afraid of, you know what I mean? I was afraid that it might affect the energy with this, but, like, ultimately it makes me think that, like, even though I might be dealing within the frontal lobe, like, where I'm still vibrating it, like good energy's coming out of it. Yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping that's the case, but no, man. I just one of the things is like they always say is like it all has to start with how you feel. Like
it's your attitude determines your latitude, man.
Everything, dude. Right. Well, what's crazy is I posted this a little while ago, and it's one of the most brilliant things. It had all the letters in the alphabet and had all the numerical order letters and stuff like that, and it said, isn't it ironic that it typed in knowledge, or it added up knowledge, and it was like at like 96 or something when you added up all the numbers, and it said if you added up like it was like knowledge and something else like hard work, and then that came up to like 98 and stuff, but then when you did the numerology for attitude, it came to 100%, and like this is how you get shit done. Hard work is there, but it's not going to get you enough, and knowledge is there, but it's not going to get you enough. But your attitude is going to make everything 100%. Like,
that's fucking supreme numerology right there.
Yeah, dude. Whoever broke that down was straight fucking science, son.
Yeah.
Because they always tell you, and that's another thing that I always do. I do it every day. I have like a little mantra, and I, one of the things that I say, I'll do it. I'll say it over and over again. But when my attitude is right, facts don't matter. Okay. And just like having that in my vibe, and that's really actually changed me on stage. Because the last few times I've been going up on stage, and I've only been doing this for a couple of months, but like the last, where I've really released, dude, I've fucking had some really fun times, like, and really let loose, and felt like I turned a corner. And it's because, like, you kind of, I don't want to say I'm never anybody that's been married to the material, but I always have like my safeguards.
Definitely, you gotta
You know?
you gotta have some utensils up there.
Yeah, you really, you can't go. But like today for me on my tour, nothing worked. Nothing worked. And then when I just started like just ignoring the people and just started chatting with the people in the front and just, bullshitting, throwing out just normal conversation jokes. Next thing you know, everybody in the back's fucking laughing. I was like, wow, what a fucking weird day. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to fucking get them and be smart with the, you know what I mean? The stuff that I have that I know that works and being cute with them, being in the moment. And like none of that shit fucking worked, but I was just throwing out other stuff and it fucking popped. But
I just think I'm just looking at this card and I'm like, this is such like a random thing. I wonder if she knows. I always wondered, does she know those swords are around her? Because she could maybe, with enough fucking work, even if she got left there, like still kind of like cut herself loose, like with those fucking swords. And I always wondered about that. You know what I mean? Because once you got your hands off in the blindfold, like you be kind of good. Like,
well, I'm also, when you said rescue, just by looking at her calmness, makes me think that like she's waiting to be fucking cut loose. I don't know. I kind of get that, but the thing that stood out to me though on this was the 8 and the water, like her, well, not so much the water, but just like her feet. Are her feet above it or are they in it? Like is she?
I never thought about that until you said it. Like
is she levitating?
Well, I don't want to say levitating, but if she was like tied up and suspended above, like is she tied up to a sword?
No, because you can
Is
see
there only
all
8?
you can see all 8 of them.
So
it's funny you say that because so there's another card that's kind of like this, and it has more emphasis on the accepting it. And you keep saying it, and we already did the whole thing. Let me see if I can find it. But the Hanged Man is a more, I guess, a bigger archetypal version of this card. It's kind of a similar story. This is another one that I love is the 10 of swords. This guy's got 10 fucking swords in his back.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I mean, like that's like, think about that though. 10 swords in your back. Like, I mean, like who did you piss off? You know what I mean?
Right, dude.
But it's really, if you think about the deeper symbolism about it, is like that's a card of authority because who else would fucking have that many people that even want to stab them, you know what I'm saying? Or even
maybe that's a sign of like what you need to do with like a habit or
it can be,
or you know what I mean?
It definitely, it can be, but it can also just be like, sometimes things like kind of come to like an end, like all those swords are in his back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow, that's deep.
It's
dude.
crazy to see. Like, I just looked up that card, and it's like just to see all the other artist interpretations of it. It's pretty crazy.
Of which one?
It's
Just the 8 of swords. There's just, it's crazy.
It's a fan favorite. It is one of those cards that definitely, they got the devil here. I always thought why do people get freaked out with this card? It's not really like scary or even cool. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty generic, you know what I'm saying?
The ideology of it.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
really,
if the devil comes into your fucking deal, though,
this
isn't
one's
that
got
something?
titties on it.
The star. Well, of course. You
Yeah.
got fucking tatas, dude.
It's absolutely the star.
And she's pouring water in, huh?
Yeah, man. While she's dumping it out, right? You
Yeah,
see this?
man.
Like, what the fuck? This is another one.
She's
I like,
a gusher.
Is the Judgment? I think that's a pretty cool one. I like all the naked cards. Fucking
The nudies.
yeah, that's how I get down.
I think
This is
I've
my
seen
secret porno.
The Hanged Man before.
Yeah.
I think I got it on like when someone has
There we
like
go.
that rapid has like have like all the ones will go through and then you stop and it'll be like this is your card or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten this one before.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't have like a tarot card slot machine yet in the casinos.
There was one
Surprised there's not a Ouija board.
Gotta write that.
Okay.
Gotta write the code for that.
There you go.
One at South Point.
Oh, there was.
And no, it wasn't tarot.
Zoltar.
It was like witchcraft. So instead of like it was corny, but it was like it's a slot machine, and it was like instead of 7s, it was 13s, and you know what I mean. You were trying to line up black cats, and it was a real janky ass reel machine. So it was like when you lost, you were extra pissed because like this machine's cursed. You know what I mean? Like
it's cursed.
super fucking hokey. Like it would stop. Like the way it would stop and light up was actually like it wasn't scary, but it was kind of creepy.
Yeah.
You know, like
Dude.
I forget what that shit was called, but that was a fun gag.
So give me just a brief little
A wrap up here, or what do you want?
Yeah,
Okay.
like on this, on like what, so I can absorb it again. I guess I can listen to this, but
Yeah, that's true.
I'd have to wait till then. So
yeah, I mean, like overall, I mean, like tarot is really fun. The more you know, no, but this basically says, you're in the game, you're in the race. That's undeniable. You're kind of just already like playing your role in it, but it seems like secure enough of a thing that you can keep doing, as long as you don't get carried away. And the only way you would get carried away is if you like let yourself. You know what I'm saying? So whatever that would mean to you in reference to like the message, or maybe that future part is just actually truly for like the viewers on an emotional level, like that's the message that you're trying to get across to people is like, do the right thing. You know what I mean? Like, but actually like be in the moment with that. Sometimes if you've had the 3 drinks here, maybe you don't
drinks.
Maybe you don't need that extra one. Cause look at this. Whose fucking hand is that? You don't know who's giving that to you. This is a funny card, So that's, it's like you got 3 drinks sitting in front of you and some invisible hand just comes and hands you a 4th. You think that's a good idea? You know what I'm saying?
Cloud hand.
Yeah.
Just handing out drinks.
Yeah.
You think
I'm all about it. That's how I roll though, dude.
I would take it.
That
You know what I mean?
dude's on DMT at the moment.
Yeah,
for
man.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like I said, within that foundation,
I'm not reckless, but I'm down for the ride. You know what I mean?
I'm down
Like,
to meet the cloud hand for sure.
there
I
he
forgot
goes.
where I was, But overall, you know what I mean? You gotta keep rocking, keep being a good dude, and having that come through as like the message of the podcast, and like that is gonna be like the stable part, like overall. That I think that'll be one of the most important parts. Just according to this, like I said, just like don't settle for any downgrades, really. You know what I mean? When you get the call, pick that shit up for whoever you can get and go out for the best type of shit, because ultimately, who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like people are potentially like waiting to hear some shit that's gonna like either wake them up or reinforce something that they thought, oh, well, maybe I only thought this, or I never considered this at all. So again, in reference to like a podcast, that might legit just be, the audience to come. You know what I mean? The audience of the near future.
I take in the blind.
Yeah. You start a school for the blind, and that's why having a podcast is great, because you can tell them it's a TV show, but they won't know.
Favorite show's on.
Yeah. Fuck.
But yeah, overall, that's just what it comes down to. Is that's up to you, man. We all write our own books, man. And if you're out here and you're willing to take drinks from a phantom hand and still be cool, still not be a dick about it, I think you'll go far.
The phantom hand, dude.
Cloud hand.
The clown
coming.
hand.
It's coming, man. Yeah.
So I need to get a page boy haircut. I need to take a drink from the fucking gods in the sky.
Yep, and that dude plays like some winded instrument too. I can just tell.
Who?
That guy, he's got a winded instrument somewhere. Flute or something, bro.
Don't forget. Why do you think he's sitting under that tree? Like, he does.
Mm-hmm.
I would just expect him to be there whittling.
He's
No,
wearing.
that's how he calls the cloud hand. With his little flute. It's like Zelda.
Dude, I bet you if we look around there's a mushroom someplace in that.
Yeah, in his belly.
What kind of tree is this? We don't know what kind of tree this is. Like, there's definitely something growing around there. right around the roots. He's sitting right in front of it. I don't know.
Why not?
He's wearing jeggings. I think that's the most interesting part of the entire thing.
Who is making all these leggings? Like, you see these Robin Hood movies, like, they're all wearing, like, you remember, like, the Maka was, like, Men in Tights?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what is with all that shit? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Who was making leggings back then?
Oh, yeah, dude. Did they have the material to do that? I mean, we have nylon and, how are they getting stuff all nice and form-fitting, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like,
I never show the mall, like, in those movies.
I mean, there's some
You know what I
peasants.
mean?
There's
Like, I want to
peasants
see the
over
food
here.
court and all that other shit. Yeah, they don't show the mall in those movies.
No.
That's the problem.
They don't show the slave labor either.
Nope.
Only
They
only
show
if
it
they're
today.
rowing.
They do like to show slaves rowing. That'll be or walking in a chain gang. That seems that like they'll show chain gangs for some
It's usually
reason.
both in the montage. It's one after
Very
the
true.
other.
Very true. Like, I don't know what that is, but it's like that's the first thing people are like, oh, peasants, slaves, you know what I mean? Whatever, serfs. And they're just all chained the fuck together, making sure the important people get where they need to go.
Yeah.
Selling horses.
It's funny as you mentioned that. I was just watching Oh Brother, Where Art Thou last night, and it showed them, the chain gangs this picking at the side of the road, and I was like, what are they doing though? Because technically, the way that they're picking and chipping, they're narrowing the road. You know what I mean? Like they were, they weren't like doing anything. I don't know. It's just, I guess it's the movies, and I'm overthinking it. But I was like, that's not like viable. What you're doing there, I don't know. Sorry, I'm reaching.
No, I think it's like, I mean, no, I get it. I get what you mean. I just realized like I'm kind of stoned now, but
Nice.
Oh, from the Eddie.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit.
I forgot about
I was
the
like,
Eddie.
I'm sorry. All this divination is giving me the vapors. And I'm like,
Dude, awesome, man. No, I mean, I feel good.
oh
It
yeah.
made me feel that I was nervous. I have to admit, I was nervous.
Oh, yeah.
I was afraid I
a
was gonna
lot of
get
people
like
are.
Satan death. Fucking, Mikey's like, no, not me, dude. And I was
I
like,
don't want to know if I'm going to get struck by lightning walking outside.
yeah, see, I mean, can you ask that?
Yeah, but I mean, like, think about that's the whole thing. Why it's kind of a twat question because, like, all right, like, what is the likelihood of that happening anyway? And two,
Like, Trez, you got to go, bro. Like,
Yeah.
it's 2 o'clock in the morning. You got to walk outside. Like,
yeah, like, what would be the likelihood? And two, like, if you were just gonna walk outside in a freak lightning accident, would you want to know that's how you die? Like, just know that it's just like as soon as I walk out the door, it's a wrap for me. Like,
Yeah.
this is how it goes, right?
it's like prison. I'm staying in.
Yeah,
I'm staying in.
I can't do it anymore.
I'm staying in. I'm
Yeah.
not going out to the yard.
I'm staying in today, boys.
That's the premise for my 600-pound life. Is like
Like-
people that know they're gonna die if they go outside, so they're just nope. I just won't do it. I'll stay here. Jerry Springer, please.
You gotta go and it's like you gotta go and eat. You gotta come out of the cell. Nah, I'm good.
I'm
We had
okay.
a guy one time, we bailed him out, and he was big. He was like 700 pounds.
Damn.
And he missed his court date, but he had never come in to check in either. So I didn't know how big he was. So we had to go find him. Like, we had to go, like, send the goons out and, go pick him up. We go to this trailer park off, like, kind of out by the Air Force Base. And, dude, we got inside. Like, we're banging on the door. And, like, finally his wife answered and, like, told him what was up. And she was like, he's inside, but you guys are going to have to, you're going to need more than that to move him or something. Like, she said, it was like something crazy. Like, I forget what and then we look over and he was like, whoa, like, we don't have enough handcuffs to chain together to, like, even, like,
Wow.
secure him. And, like, it was, like,
How did that
crazy.
guy even get out to like commit a crime?
He gets out. He has, like, a scooter and he rolls it down the ramp. And he was outside and he got, like, in an argument with his neighbor. And he threw something at his neighbor, so his neighbor called the cops on him just to be a dick. And they arrested him.
Oh my god.
But, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we weren't prepared to, like, I had to call the
Dude.
police. Like, you guys gotta, like, I found him
Why did they arrest him?
for, like, domestic violence or a domestic dispute in this.
okay.
Because
That
him and
makes
his neighbor
sense.
got into it, and he threw something at his neighbor, and you could totally tell by the neighbor when we were there. He was like, "Yeah, I'm the one that had him arrested." And he was like,
I
more of
would've-
a dick move. He did it more just to see if it would happen.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm pressing charge. He threw like a soda can at him, and it didn't even like hit him. It wasn't like,
Jesus.
you know, but so just to be a dick, he like fully pressed charges on him to see what would happen because he said he's like, that dude's never left. He's never left like more than 5 feet from his house. And that's why he missed his
Now
court
he's
date.
a burden of the
Yeah, now he's
system.
like a fucking fugitive and shit. And I was like, oh my God. And when we called the police, because I was like, I can't take him.
I'm sorry, a 700-pound fugitive.
Yeah, it's
That
like
has
hilarious.
to be-
Like,
That's what I'm
that
saying. It's
has
like,
to
how
be a
did this guy
movie.
like get mobile to even fucking?
dude, he has a scooter. And it, like,
no, I'm just saying, like it's. Do you think the cops would be like, you know what, this dude's just too fat to fucking arrest?
well, that's what they were going for. And I was
You
like,
know what I
no, dude. I was like, he's in warrant. Like, I'm the bail bondsman. Like, he's got to go to jail. Like, and here you guys are. He's in warrant, so you got to take him. And they were like, dude, they had to call in like a Suburban.
I was gonna say they had to get a flatbed.
Well, they had to get a
Right.
Suburban. They had the squad cars, but then they had like an Explorer, and he wouldn't fit in the Explorer. So they're like, we need to get like a Suburban. So like a special
They need to get him in.
car had to come out and pick him up. I was like,
They
does
need
this
to get him
happen?
in-
Like when he went to jail, like, oh, we weren't here. It was a different shift order. But like, it was a
Front
total
loader.
fucking ordeal, like to get this dude back to jail. And he was like, bro, can you help me? And I was like, oh, fuck, I don't know.
How does he even get in the fucking door? Like,
Oh, bro.
Oh,
It
dude.
was all it was all custom. It was like a double door.
do you have a custom cell? Like,
Yeah,
how
like
does,
I don't know about all that, but like it did. Like his trailer was like they had like a double wide ramp, you know, like going down, and it wasn't like it was like no switchback. It was just like a straight shot down, and then they said it would take him like you would have to like step up the steps to get back up, and then like his wife would ride his scooter back up for him. It was like a total fucking. It was one of the weirdest, like bizarrest
Wow, man.
encounters with another human that I've ever had.
That has to be house arrest for somebody that big. Like, it has to be.
Oh my god. Sorry, I almost spit my drink on.
What?
Like a house arrest. But no, for real. Like, I
Because
don't
he
know.
never fucking leaves anyway. You know what I mean? Like, what could you do?
And that was
My
the
bad.
thing. They were saying like,
No, no,
like
it's
that was
good.
what he told them. He was like, I couldn't come to court because I don't leave the house.
yeah.
You know, it was like I don't leave, and he was like, you know, like at that point, it's like a disability almost. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
don't know what the case ended up getting thrown out, but like it was a fucking huge ordeal for me. Like no one told me. Like his wife came in to bail him out. Like you'd think they would say like, hey, my husband's like 700 pounds, and he ain't gonna come in, and he ain't gonna go to court. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, that's funny.
all this other shit. It was like,
funny as
And he ain't gonna run.
he ain't gonna, you'll find him. You'll
Yeah,
find him.
He
but
ain't
he
gonna
ain't-
run. He
But it was
definitely ain't
like-
running, but he ain't coming in.
I should go check on that dude. You know what I mean?
Yo,
Like, just go
I
check
need
on him.
I need to follow up on that.
Yeah, like,
honestly.
Oh, dude.
It was years ago, but I like that's something like you'd never forget that. Like,
Oh, bro, man.
because you see that shit like on the like on the TV. Like there's a show,
can't-
600-pound life or whatever.
Yeah, you can't live that long. You don't live that long that big, man.
I don't know. I think they slow the slowness of just laying in bed. You know what I mean? Like they just live like a tortoise.
Dude, no, man, that's so much for the fucking heart.
Just fucking.
Especially, yeah, I mean, pumping and all that stuff, but then also, you don't get a lot of rest when you fucking sleep because the struggle on breathing, you know,
Jesus.
a lot of those. I mean, dude, your frame is only so big, so you're just covered in this mass.
Yeah,
you know,
just water bags.
I mean, it's unbelievable what the body can handle because
We're supposedly frail, but
well, no,
you know.
I mean, we are, but we're so durable too. You
The
know,
body
like
does everything to survive. It's crazy.
but I was carrying in some water jugs the other day, and I was just like, just imagine carrying this. People have like this kind of weight on their body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I got however many 5-gallon fucking whatever jugs weigh. I don't know how much they weigh, but
I don't know either.
it's got to be about 50 pounds between the two of them. You know what I mean? Like just having that like on my body added onto this frame, I'd be like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's a lot to carry, dude. You know? And these people are doing, you're 700 pounds. That's 7 fucking people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's like fucking 15 kids.
It's ridiculous.
You know? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like fat
like
bastard.
7
He's like,
people.
give me the baby. I'll eat the baby,
Yeah, that dude was a fucking trip though, man. Like I don't even remember. I think he like I don't know what he
I
had
know
on.
some
He
big
had like
dudes.
a blanket on. It was like crazy. Like he came out and it was like just in a wrap, like a sheet. You know what I mean? Like
Against my better judgment, the smell though. He had to smell bad, right?
Oh, dog.
Or maybe not. I don't know.
I don't remember a smell. I just remember like it was.
Well, dude, you know he did have a wife, so she probably was
married.
fucking doing the old scrub
He had
down.
kids. You know what I mean? I think he just got like super big. You know what I mean? I think like.
Well, there's a few things. There's a few things that
I know it's so fucking big, right? Like it's crazy.
There's a few things.
700, though. Like nobody said at like 4. Like, bruh, maybe.
You're like, oh no, he's this big, and next thing you know, you're just like, yeah, dude.
Well, we used to have a girl in our neighborhood growing up, and she was like really big too, and she was in one of those like, scooters.
I just imagine a dude just filling in a whole room.
I'm gonna put this away on this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, please.
But so this girl.
Thank you so much, dude. We'll do the full.
She was big, like really big. You know what I mean? And she would ride around in a scooter. And my mom used to catch her eating our trash, like out of the on trash nights. Like that's how bad her eating disorder was.
No.
Was like she would cruise the neighborhood and eat out of people's trash cans.
Whoa.
Yeah, and
hardcore.
like my mom saw her do it like a bunch. So my mom went like, we lived on like this street. It was like Sand Hill and Russell, and then it was like a newer like housing development. And then, like, just across the side street of ours.
Newer when?
90s. It was,
No,
90s.
This is a long time.
Well, I mean, our house was
that's
probably
a
built in
season-
95. We
that's a
moved in, like,
season.
95. And, but the houses across the side street were, like, all, like, rural horse properties. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so they were, like, older, like, much older, like 60s, 70s, whatever. And so my mom went and, like, talked to her family. They're like, oh, thanks for telling us. But she has a fucking eating disorder, and she'll just eat. Like, she doesn't stop. So she ended up dying. Like, she passed away, like, when she was, like, 19.
From eating.
From eating and shit. From eating. Like,
Did she get this huge?
I don't know the whole story, but I remember like, cause we drove by her house every day. Like we turned out of our development, we had to go by her house, and we remember one day there was like a funeral there and shit. And then we ended up talking to her brother, and he was like, "Yeah, she passed away."
Wow.
But it was like crazy. But like she would like legit come around on garbage and eat out of the garbage cans.
Oh, that's fucking nuts, dude.
I'll see if I could dig it up. There might be a story about her or something somewhere.
Dude, that's that's like a it's one thing to fucking George Costanza that shit and eat the eclair that's right on top, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. That's like a question. I mean, that's fucking gross if you ask me.
Yeah.
But holy shit, dude. I mean, unless you need to, you know what I mean, like to survive or something. Yikes. I mean, even then, yikes. But
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Even all the times, like I've been like borderline or like actually homeless, like off and on throughout my life, different points. I have never eaten garbage. You know what I mean? Like it has never crossed my mind, because that would be like the one thing that'll fucking kill you, like for real, is like
Fucking
just lowering your standards. You know what I'm saying? It's like
True,
that's how
yeah,
you'll
dude.
get fucked up. Like when shit hits the fan, that's when you got to be all about your
like
shit,
you said,
right?
you're fighting to go the other way. If you start heading
Right.
that way, it just gets worse and worse, and
Yeah,
that shit just
you got to
across
lean
the
out.
board.
Lean out
For
of eating
sure.
garbage, bro. Like
next thing you know, you're like, I got these cheeseburgers.
yeah. Like people are not like necessarily like happy, but they are willing to give you food if you let somebody know that you can't eat. Somebody,
sure.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
for
definitely,
real.
dude.
Like,
Well, that was one of the things that when I had the hard hat and over at Adrenaline for 2 Christmases.
I forgot about adrenaline.
You know,
Can I bum a smoke off you? Do you mind?
every Thanksgiving and or just depending on the year and stuff and how things were going, but I would always do like a Christmas dinner or something like that for everybody that, and I would tell people, if you wanted to bring food, bring it down, but I got it covered, if you want to add, and people would they would do that, but I would, I'd make a shitload of stuff in anticipation that everybody's there, but also with the idea that people could take fucking food home. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, is like that's one of the things I've always done in my life, is feed people. It's what I like doing. So,
You like to cook, don't you?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
for
I
real?
love cooking. Yeah,
Dude, I've recently it's become like my most favorite thing in the world, man. Like from like YouTube videos to fucking actually cooking shit. Because I tried to go vegan multiple times in my life, right? Like,
no bueno, dude.
yeah, dude. I feel a lot better most of the time, but I would never claim a strict vegan diet, because like sometimes I really want a lobster, I really want a fucking steak. Sometimes I just want a fucking cold cut combo. You know what I'm saying? Like
you need, at the very least, you need animal fat. There's fats in there. fish oils and shit, dude. Like our brain's pretty much, cholesterol and fat. And when you start denying that, things go really,
It'll fuck
really
you
go
up,
really
bro,
wonky.
for real.
Well,
Like,
here's the
it'll
thing:
have
it's
you
like
fucked up.
people think high blood pressure, is because of fat and salt and shit, dude. And there's some sodium aspect in it involved because of all the preservatives, that kind of sodium and stuff. But ultimately, it's like it's your wheat, your flour, and your sugar. I have a friend. He was like, he won't eat bacon, he won't eat pork. Oh, fucking shit. Everything he eats is deep fried. Everything he snacks on is fucking straight candy. I go, there's your high blood pressure, doggy. Don't tell me don't tell me bacon's gonna fuck your shit up, dude.
Yeah.
That's fucking your shit up, dude.
I love bacon, bro. That shit
I did vegetarian diet for like 2 years when I was like 20.
But it's a proven fact. You need fat.
Yeah.
You need fat. And the thing is, if you get good cholesterol, and I don't know why people, this is nutritionists know this, I don't know why this isn't like people don't use this in their arguments and stuff, or even know about it, so they can't even try to argue it. But when you have good fat in your body, right, there's always fat that'll store, that always like collects in your arteries, and stuff like that. What you want to do is you keep when you have good fat going, it circulates that stuff will be there, but it doesn't harden. It slowly gets replaced. It's the new fat is stripping along, it's pulling along. It's when you start reducing the fats in there, and then what's left starts hardening, and then whatever sticks starts hardening, and all of a sudden shit gets clamped off, or it fucking breaks loose, and you get a fucking aneurysm or blood clot, or there's all sorts of fucked up shit.
That's like the most common shit out here,
Yeah, no, dude. And it's a multitude of things, but one of the things is, look at these farmer dudes, okay? These hay baling ass motherfuckers, right? They fucking wake up in the morning to eat like fucking 3 pounds of bacon, sausage. They got the fucking eggs going, the biscuits and the potatoes. Yeah. And then they come back at fucking night, they might have a fucking cigar or fucking some whiskey and some shit. They're drinking black coffee, and they fucking
sound
live
like me.
You know what I'm saying? No, but they live fucking forever. They don't get like the fucking cancers and shit. They break down because their bodies
shit is
break
a lot
down.
fresher too. Like, I didn't know. Like, bro, do you know how old apples are? Like, in stores?
Oh yeah, dude, because they greenhouse them and shit.
Yeah, dog, I didn't know them. These apples be like 3 years old and shit like that.
No, I don't know about that old.
No,
really?
I'm not.
I didn't know about that old.
They have enormous cold storage. So the apples that you're eating,
well,
and
dude,
shit
they'll
now,
last forever in general.
Yeah.
I'll leave them in my fridge, and I'll be like, I'll pull it up, and like, it ain't dented or nothing. Like, it's not bruised or anything. Cut open, like, take a little bite. I'm like, it's fucking apple.
If I'm not mistaken,
and I'm not even buying I'm not even buying like GMO apples. I'm buying like organics, and they still last forever.
Yeah, dude. In the cold storage, they keep them for years.
I didn't know that.
You are not eating the apples that are like
That's
not
crazy.
eating no new apples, bro.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I know they got that wax coating. You got to get off that fucking. You got to get off them.
I just learned about that with cucumbers. This is a note
yeah.
on the
vegan. I peel those.
Yeah. I do now. Before I used to like the crunchiness, but then I was like, oh, this is gross. Like, it's just now knowing. I'm like, that's weird. But they make that stuff with that's like a dairy product. You know what I mean? Like, so people trying to be like 100% vegan, like, bro, that shit not possible. Like, there's no such thing as like a vegan. That's not a real.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? That's not a real thing you can really be.
A lot of people that I've seen that have been a long time vegan and stuff, they do the body goes through the change, and stuff like that, and they lose weight and stuff. But then, like,
that's part of the reason why I try to still eat a lot of vegan shit, because, like,
well, the skin gets really papery. They get like this frail look, and then what ends up happening a lot of times, because if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a big fruit element involved in a
That was
vegan diet.
never my thing. And there's so many different ways. There's some people say if you want to be vegan, you're not even really truly vegan if you cook food. That some people say that
Yeah,
it's
they're all raw, like raw diet.
completely raw. Like I like a lot of raw shit, but like I'll cook my shit. But
I
for
like
me,
cooking. I'm a flame guy, dude.
Nuts and beans, bro. Like, cause it's already shit that I like.
But see, dude, if I'm having beans, this fucking I'm cooking in fat, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm making my own refries, or I'm making a fucking, I'm making some kind of bean dish or something like that. Like there's gonna be fat, there's gonna be butter, there's gonna be bacon. You know what I mean? Yeah, but no, but one of the things that you see, and you end up seeing this a lot with like healthy people too, when when people just all of a sudden go healthy, fucking fucked up pancreatic cancers, liver cancers. I know these people that did a lot of they did the keto, and I'm all about like the keto, but they did it so rapid, like fucking kidney failure, fucking problems with the liver and stuff, and they lost all this weight and they look good. But I was like, dude, you can't lose 160 pounds in a year and not expect your body to just fucking your gallbladder to take a shit on you.
You're not supposed to really lose more than 2 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people when they start a diet, they'll you'll have that initial break. Like me, if I started a diet,
we're talking after water weight,
right? I'm saying I would probably lose 8 pounds this week, right? Like, and it's just like, okay, cool. But if I lost 8 pounds every week, nah, son, you can't. Nah, a pound a week. I think is good, but nobody wants that.
Well, I've done the HCG diet where you lose like a pound a day.
I did that.
Really?
Yeah, I did that, and that's actually what kind of got Kevin Trudeau thrown in fucking jail. The guy that did Mega Memory and did the debt cures and the health cures they don't want you to know about and all that shit. But he did the weight loss cures they don't want you to know about, and he cited a whole bunch of stuff, but he cited Dr. Simeon's HCG diet from like 1954, and they were doing injectables and stuff. But for the people,
slow down. wait, what? This is a movie? What is this? A book?
This book back in the 50s. This guy, Dr. Simeon's, he discovered HCG, and HCG stands for human chorionic gonadotropin, and it's what the female body produces when the female gets pregnant.
Okay.
And the reason why women have a higher fat content on their body is because the HCG that's produced strips the fat from the body to feed the baby.
Okay.
So when they say that like a woman's eating for two, that's not the case. They're actually get the reason why they have all the nutrients. The woman can go days without eating. The baby will be fine. It gets fed. It gets all the nutrients from stored fat. But what it does is it really heightens your senses. Okay. And so when you're taking HCG, and you might have noticed, because you also do it with a low-calorie diet.
Super low.
You do like 700 calories for the whole day.
That's not too bad though. I can do that.
But when you have greens, you have greens in it, you can actually leg it out. You know what I mean? Like, but so it's not that bad. But
is this
the
a
thing
healthy diet? I might try this shit.
It's like 2 shrimp. Like that's all it comes down to.
Well, yeah, I would.
2 shrimp
I was
and a bunch of
basically
lettuce.
I was eating like. Well, you'd have it. You could eat a good amount of protein as far as like because you can't gussy it up too much. You're not.
I was doing a lot of vegetable soups at the time too.
So you
soup's a good way to get through it.
You eat once a day. Oh, soup is a good idea.
Well, see, it was easier for me because I just always have been and didn't know before it was a thing, but I've always been like an intermittent faster because I've never been like a wake up and eat breakfast person as an adult. I just got to a point where I just don't eat breakfast. It's just not my fucking thing. I go all the way. Sometimes I just eat one meal a day. Sometimes I do that 16-hour window. Sometimes I fucking eat right when I get up. There'll be a fucking Pop-Tart. Bah, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm not. And it served me well. But I've always been like intermittent fasting. When I did HCG, it was easier for me to manage because I was already doing intermittent fasting. So it wasn't like I lost the weight, dude. I have some fucking pictures. We were looking at. I am a fucking completely different. Hold on, let me see if I can.
So
pull
it's
this up.
hold on. So it's a pill or it is like an injection still?
Well, no,
Or-
they have both. They have
Okay.
both. But dude, you
Mine
won't.
was
You won't.
drops.
You won't believe. Yeah. See, and
Really?
I took the drops.
Does
yeah.
it suppress your appetite at all? Probably not. Or-
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
no.
a little bit.
Once you get it, once you kind of get going, you get it like in. You know what I mean? Like, some days it's hard to eat. Some days you're like, dude, look at this, okay? Look at your boy here, dog. Okay, this is me after my first son. Like, well, my wife's gonna be fucking mad because you see this. Look at this fucking. That was me.
Oh damn.
All right, and then I took HCG.
Whoa.
I got up to 215, dude. That was
It's a different
fucking
person.
completely, bro. We fucking we blew up. Look at then. I guess you can put it there but yeah, that was me and the missus. Like, you know, she got fucking super huge, right? And then, you know, now this is like us when we got married.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like totally different.
Yeah.
You know.
I need to get on that shit. Well,
But
so
I mean,
did you work out
this
too?
wasn't solely HCG. No, you don't want to work out in HCG.
I was gonna say
'cause
that's too much.
No, you
Like,
barely. You got to
yeah.
keep like your calories are sacred at that point.
Yeah.
Like, don't burn shit. You know,
Yeah, no,
like-
because what happens is you start peeing it out.
Mm-hmm.
You pee it out.
I would have to go on walks like just around the block just to break the fucking because I was like starving it sometimes. You know. What I mean?
yeah.
Like shit, I can't eat till 7. It's like 5:30. Like I'm just gonna go pace up and down
See-
the street just to keep out of the house where I know there's food and shit. You know?
See, I started hacking it towards the end. Well, towards the last time now we just do like a high fat, you know, kind of like a keto diet and stuff. And my wife's been doing really good. I mean, that's how she lost the weight for the wedding and all that stuff after the third kid. But it's cool. It's strict.
Like,
But-
how long did you have to do that then?
Well,
So
you can
do it as long as you
can
want,
do
I
it.
guess.
I think I did like
I mean,
3
not
or
as
4
long.
weeks.
Okay, I was gonna say not as long as you want, but obviously, like,
They
It's
have-
not. You don't want to do it for like a lifestyle.
yeah, yeah.
No,
You know, like
no,
if
you
you
can't.
set a little goal, hit your goal, and then switch to something else.
No,
yeah,
there's
take that
there's
time
a
to
big
change to a viable lifestyle.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Yeah.
there's a thing to it, okay? And this is where a lot of people think, "Oh, it's bullshit. I gained all the weight back." There's a protocol that is after the diet. So you do
Absolutely.
so you take these drops, right? You do a loading, you eat high fat for a couple of days. You're eating, you know, like how you kind of gorge to get your body like primed with like all this like fat. So then when you as you're loading the HCG during those days, so then when you go immediately to low cal, you'll kind of ride out a little bit. You know, you won't get the hunger pangs and stuff like that. If you had stopped eating sugar and wheat and really ate like a more healthier high fat, what I found out after like a couple of rounds of it, having done it a couple times, that transition was very, very easy because you go through like you get the keto flu because you're so low calorie. You're not eating any wheat. You're not eating any sugar, you know, other than you get a little bit from like an orange or an apple that you're able to eat. But you can have greens up to fucking yin and stuff. I started finding a way to hack it with butter coffee. So I was making coffee. I was doing bulletproof coffee, and I was still losing a pound a day, sometimes 2 pounds a day, eating low cal. I was being able to like doing the fat fast all the way through, and because all those fats wouldn't trigger your metabolism, wouldn't spike your glycemic index, and so that fat starts helping stripping and pulling, and at the same time, you don't have to worry about insulin being produced, and that's where you get kicked out of like fat burning. Because you start burning that starts working on burning sugar and shit like that.
Right.
So when you reduce the sugar, so like in the women, what the HCG would be doing would be stripping the fat, giving it to the baby. For men, when we take it, we basically pee out the weight.
Huh.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like you need to like piss out the weight. And that dude, Kevin Trudeau, he was telling people about this, and they said that he was a liar and all stuff like that. And he was like, hey. And then they got him in contempt of court and stuff. But it's it's a good diet. It's a strict, but
But it's not a permanent thing, you know what I mean? I can
No,
see
so
that.
the protocol
to, like, hit
after.
a
Oh, that's what I
goal.
was going to say. The protocol
I wanna
after
know.
is you have to, after you're done with the drops, you have to maintain that low calorie diet for a couple more days, and you still keep losing the weight, and then you slowly start introducing stuff. You expand the menu, but you still keep like there's no fats, there's no sugar or anything, and you do that for a couple of weeks, and that's the hardest thing because people think I'm done after the drops. But in reality, because then what happens is you have to maintain a balance between 2 pounds. If you go over, then they have a thing, it's called a steak day, and you fast all day. You eat a big, healthy, fat steak, ribeye. And
That's easy. I can do that.
Yeah, and then
no
like,
problem.
and then like an apple, and then that'll like write your stuff, and then you keep going on like you know you eat clean,
Right.
and then after like a couple of months, then you start introducing sugars. So it's really strict in that regard.
Because there's no way, and I understand that. I would think like, yeah, you would have to do it for like definitely longer than you want to admit. You know what I mean? Not necessarily you, but like to yourself while you're doing that. It's like you should keep going because there's no way to tell. Nobody can tell you when your metabolism's going to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far in regard to like, how am I going to be like maintaining my weight? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, when they make those HCG claims of like 30 pounds in 30 days, that's like a program. I will say, without a doubt, yes, that's achievable. I've lost on that diet. I lost 35 pounds.
Damn, I could do that. Honestly, I've been thinking about doing that.
And I think it was like 35 pounds in like 33 days is like when I did the low cal. And I kept it off, and then I ballooned up there for a while, and then I just did intermittent fasting like as like kind of a conscious lifestyle, you know what I mean? Like I would actually focus, like I still have a reminder on my thing to like fast, like just to say, okay, at 10 o'clock, like it's 10 o'clock, like that's technically that's supposed to be my cutoff.
Right.
You know, and then I won't eat till 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of how I like do it. But that works for me, dude, because I'll tell you what, man, there'll be a certain part in the day where I get hungry, and then once I'm after that, like once that like leaves my mind, and it's only a small, at the most it's like a half hour long. But it'll be like right before I'm technically supposed to eat. But after I get over that, dude, it's like I just had like fucking a pot of coffee of like a cold brew fucking like highly caffeinated coffee. Like my brain just starts, every synapse just starts fucking firing. Like you get this crazy burst of energy. And that, what happens there, what ends up that happening, and it would happen on HCG when I'd say like I was like, fuck, I've gone fucking 10, 12 hours without eating.
Yeah.
Like I should fucking eat, And you would just get this boundless energy because what happens is, it's the best way to fuel your body is from stored fat. Like fat is like the best thing for your body.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. We've been completely indoctrinated.
I love fat, bro.
Yeah, no,
like, I never used this shit before. Have you ever used matcha? I got this shit, but I ain't never used it before. I didn't even know what it was. I just got it.
Root?
No, matcha is like a green powder.
Oh, it's it's like the tea. It's
That was
like
big in Japan.
That's what it is. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Matcha powder. It's a root. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's supposed to give you like boundless energy. It's like a coffee like substitute, right? If I'm not, I haven't had it. I want to. I can see you can buy it at like Sprouts or some shit.
I just saw it at all the coffee shops when I was in Japan. Like it was all just like it was an option, and we tried one, and it was not good.
Did you get it? Did you try it?
I have not tried it. Like I Googled it and it was like you can make it into a tea, and I was looking at it. I was like, this does not look that good, but I guess you're not really necessarily supposed to drink that much of it.
Well,
I mean,
they were selling
4
it as
ounces of this shit.
They had it at the
Yeah,
coffee
yeah.
shops like a recreational drink.
Yeah.
Like I don't want this. This isn't enjoyable. But if it was part of a diet and you're like, fuck it, just pound it.
Yeah.
I could see
Well,
that.
it's
I
supposed
want
be
to
like-
try
it's
it
supposed
and see. Like,
Yeah, it's supposed to be like super strong, super good for you. I don't know. I got into yerba mate, which is pretty pretty strong.
I've heard of this, but maybe you were telling me
like
about it,
great
but I've heard about
energy.
this. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like yerba mate, but it's yerba mate, and like now they'll have like they'll have it in can, but I've always just made it in like a brewed tea. But it doesn't have. There's like a grassy chamomile kind of, has like its own flavor. But I was making I was doing that, and I was making that in the bulletproof. I was adding butter and coconut oil to that and blending it up, and
that was with
that shit would have me fucking going.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, dude. Anything that when
so
you add
take
the butter.
Drops you take the drops, you put them in the coffee with butter.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm just talking about the yerba. The drops for the HCG. Yeah, those would you sublingually put under.
Oh, okay.
Your tongue. There was a company that we always got, but dude, my niece took it and it gave her like a rash on her cheeks.
Oh, wow.
And when I was at the end, and I thought it was because I had like an allergy. I still think my body was detoxing something, but I had all these bumps all up and down my arms,
really,
my chest, all over my fucking body, like all these bumps, but mostly around like my torso, some on my legs, but nowhere, like it didn't have it around my nothing on my junk or where my underwear were. And my wife was like, "Oh, I'll just change it because it's got to be the detergent because I wash, our undies in with the baby's clothes. Like, I use a totally different, So if you don't have it around there, we'll just switch everything to the other."
Yeah.
And I still was like, had this fucking, all these bumps all over, and it took forever for them to go away, but. How I got them to go away is because there's a heavy metal. I thought because I was losing weight, and I was going through kind of a detox period. I thought it was like kind of like metals leaving my body. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like whatever.
Okay.
And I took spirulina and chlorella tablets, and I had them for something else. And I just happened to have them, and I happened to be reading something, and it said that that those actually take heavy metals out of your body. So I had a whole fucking thing of spirulina and chlorella tablets from Onnit, from their shit, and I took those, and it fucking went away within like a week. Within a week, and this is the other thing about that, and I don't mean like 100% away, like you know what I mean, like but.
It calmed the fuck down.
Yeah, no, it was all but gone. It was very, very noticeable. But there was like a couple of like bumps, like chicken pox, like kind of hung out. You know what I mean? But it was really weird. I just all over. But I was lucky I didn't have it on my face. I wouldn't have been able to fucking work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I took those tablets, dude. That shit fucking cleared it up.
That's what's up.
I went to the doctor and everything. Dude, he gave me all these fucking pills and these creams. I'm like, fuck, I'm not a pill guy, but dude, if it's gonna get rid of this fucking if it's gonna get rid of the bumps, dude. I was afraid of getting it all over my dick too, man. I was like,
that's always terrifying.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I think about this matcha.
I mean, mine's
shit.
already
like,
mangled as is, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, my dick is like, it's seen brighter days. You know what I'm saying? For real. I'll be looking down like, I've ruined you.
Yes, it'd be like,
please forgive me, dick.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, it's like
I can't even look my dick in the eye.
He just slumps over.
Oh man.
Well, shit, dude. We should probably wrap it up. We're getting around 2 hours and
I was
2.5 hours.
I just looked at my phone. I was like, Jesus, this like flew by.
I feel like it's still like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, fuck, I can go all day, but I know you. Fuck, I don't want to tell you guys that, either one of you. I feel bad. It was fucking a struggle for me to get down here to even get out of my house with the fucking homework. I couldn't leave the kids.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't leave them. You know what I mean? Like,
It's that
and
final
I was
push. It's the end of the school year.
Well, I was so stressed out, and I had to go over my son's fucking work. and his writing, dude, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was getting to me. I'm like, I gotta take a fucking break. You know, I'm like, go outside. They went outside, dude, and right when I was like getting calm, the fucking missus comes in. Why the fucking kids outside? We're like, like fucking. So then I was like, all right, I gotta get it done. So, yeah, it was stressful. Today was it. Randall, you broke that stress for me, dude, on the deal, dude. So thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, man. I'm happy to be on the show, man. Like, I like to share what I know about different shit. People just gotta ask, you know what I mean?
No, totally, yeah,
sure.
dude. No, but Randall, you got you were able to do the podcast because you had a little lull in the action, but you're usually a pretty busy guy out there telling jokes.
I do. Where am I? I'm at Hooters next week. I'm doing the Hilarious 7.
Okay.
I don't know when this will actually air, but yeah. I'm doing that.
I'll try and get it up immediately.
Oh yeah, I mean it's all good. I'm doing a guest spot at the Sapphire Club. I've never performed there. Well, I haven't performed there in years. I'll put it that way.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna be there on the 30th if you're in town for strip clubs and shit. I don't think it'll be anything necessarily special. This is a great way to promote a show.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't think this is gonna be shit, but if you want to come see the comedy show at the strip club,
Well, I guess they're starting to get people in there. When I was two or three times I did that room, there was absolutely nobody there.
Yeah, and it's been a minute for me.
Miserable. But that was a long time ago.
That's what I'm saying. It was a while ago.
So go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you know, if you can't do that, if you're on the other side of the spectrum, the same night I'm hosting a comedy show. No, even better. I'm hosting. It's from 10 to 2 on March 30th. So I'm gonna be at the Eagle with some drag queens, and I think we got a band coming through. Like to be announced.
Where's the Eagle? Is that off of Flamingo or?
That's on Pecos and Tropicana.
Pecos and Trop.
Yeah.
Dude, that was I tried to get a bartending gig there a long time ago when I was like right when I was 21. Yeah, that would have been a money fucking gig, dude. I would have been a fag hag though. I would have been like,
hey, you know, sometimes you got to be a dick whisperer. You know what I mean? It goes down.
I would have been the total fucking. I got gay friends. You know what I mean? Like, cause you know, I remember underwear night and all that stuff there.
Underwear night is, I mean, it's a blast for me, honestly.
It was on Tuesday, if I remember right.
Like, I'm trying to think the last time that I went, what day of the week it was. I think it might have been a Friday. I don't know now. I mean, shit changes hands between.
That shit was like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. But underwear night.
So you're doing the Eagle? When was that?
It's on March 30th.
March 30th?
Yes. So I'm doing that. I'm trying to think what else I really got coming up. I've been kind of like chilling. I've just been kind of taking whatever gigs are kind of rolling my way. You know what I mean? And really just working on writing new shit. You know, hitting more mics and shit. And I don't know. I think everything's fair and balanced for me. I'm like Fox News. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm living my life right now.
Oh, dude, Fox, they fired the judge.
Oh,
and then they hired Donna Brazil, dude.
Oh, I didn't know she was replaced. I saw the firing.
Yeah, they hired, supposedly, I don't know if that's just a work, but that's what they supposedly did, man. I don't know. There's craziness, dude. They're really trying to silence anything that's just against the agenda being pushed or whatever. We're in a really unique time, dude, with the censorship and shit.
I've been actually I won't say I have a bit directly about that. It's me clowning around on stage a lot. But lately, the stuff that I've been working on is my whole persona is that I am Korean lesbian, lesbian American, not just Korean, but Korean lesbian American, who is also pro-Palestine, and that's like the whole character, like that's just like, and I just try to find a way to just string all of these things into one character, and like the whole time it's talking like me, like hey nigga was good, like like that's the whole thing. So I'm
just
really
one walking, talking LGBTQ.
I want to be Tumblr.com. I just want to be
Tumblr, what? You want everybody to leave you? Didn't everybody leave Tumblr?
I don't know, honestly. I want to be like Pinterest. That's my favorite website right now. I like it. I would just make boards of everything. So this is just one big Pinterest board, man. So it's somebody's first day using it. That's what I want my character to be.
I'm not too familiar with. I have it, but I'm not too familiar with Pinterest. This
Pretty
seems
much.
like
For me, it's like, you can add any website to it, any picture, any business link, anything to it, and then you make boards, vision boards, lists of things to do, whatever you want. Like me, my favorite color is purple, so I'll just search for purple, and then the purple things I like, I pin them to a board that I called purple, and then I don't know if I want to look for fucking cartoons or swords and shit like this. So these are the swords I like. It's like it's never ending, dude. It's like, and there's never any negative shit. It's not like a bunch of bullshit comments and people fighting or anything like that. Like, you'll like shit.
Can I look up bullshit comments and people fighting? Because that's what I like.
Yeah,
no,
I'm sure you can look it up. Like, they have comic strips and shit
Trolling.
on there. Like, yeah. Pinterest is great. I'm sure there are several keywords if you're looking for the more rough and tumble side of the internet.
Just type in Trump.
The
Just
dark
type in
web.
Trump. You'll find it all. You'll find all the drama.
A lot of people don't know, man. That's where all the shit is going down. Like, yeah, the key to the deep web is definitely Pinterest.
Really?
Interesting.
I'm just kidding.
Is that the
but
portal?
What if though?
Is that the
It's gonna
portal?
happen. It's a
Well, it's funny.
What if it was?
It's funny I'm on this Facebook group called Acid Math, and it's pretty crazy. Like, people are like, they just live stream themselves doing drugs or totally tripping balls and like painting or playing like they do all this stuff. And they post some pretty funny memes. And I had this one meme, and it has this girl with this fucking beautiful fucking rack, and it had this other girl with like this decent rack, and it said LSD, LSD and like the normal, wherever you get it, on the campus, and it was like on the big titties like LSD from the dark net or the dark web, and I wrote in, I go, I so want some LSD from the dark, some acid from the dark web, because those fucking titties were. And person fucking shoots me a direct message like, go to darknet over here, and I was like, oh, I'm like, woo, that's a little scary, yeah.
I just ask around, like I bring it up, and then I find out who's into it, and then I'll ask around until somebody has it. Like, that's it. Somebody eventually will have it. I'm not embarrassed by my LSD use at all. Like, I have no shame in it.
It's done more good for me than it's done any harm for myself.
It's done zero harm to me.
Like, it's been
like out of any drug, it has done zero. It's been zero harm.
That's been my. I like it more than shrooms. So I can't say I've had better. I don't know. I've had harder trips.
I can agree.
I've just always liked acid. Mushrooms, I think it's just the way I have to consume them is the way I really. Dude, acid, you take a couple of drops, or you eat a tab, or you eat a couple of tabs.
Mushrooms, it's almost like,
dude,
animalistic.
Well, I gotta eat like this, the smell and the fucking.
I like the taste of mushrooms though. At this point, like, I didn't think I was gonna like
really?
them. Yeah,
dude, I smell them.
For me, for mushrooms, if you just give me a bag of them, like, I'll just like break them up in there and just eat it. Like,
no, see,
I like it that way.
Me, I'm over here. I'm brewing a tea. I'm making a tea out of it, and then I'm like, I'm gonna make like a cocktail where I don't taste fucking anything, and I hit it with like some fruit juice or something. Knock it back.
I just hit it in the coffee grinder, so it's like real powdery. And
I
I
used
just
to
put
do
it
that.
like in a Gatorade. Like
I used
half
to
a
do that.
Gatorade and just eat it like that.
One of the best trips I ever had, and it wasn't even like a heavy dose of mushrooms. Yeah, grind them up, put that shit on ravioli, and like the richness of the sauce covered it up completely.
Wow.
So, and then just ate it. Like, didn't even make it into the sauce, just ground it up, put it on that shit, and ate it. Yeah, it was piff.
Yeah, once it's like in that powder form, you can do anything with like I think it loses most of that like flavor. I don't know how or why, but it just, to me, it does.
I think it's a texture thing. I think it's a texture more than a flavor.
I used to do I would whip up I would do my vitamins, I have like scoop vitamins, so it'd be like a fruit punch or like a berry punch, and I'd put that in my little magic blender, and I'd put in like my whatever I was gonna fucking shroom, so I'd grind that all up in the fucking thing, and then I'd drink it, but I'd still get like, fucking pieces, like,
See, yeah,
you know.
I've always had a good time with it, but I just still think acid is like the cleanest. Like,
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
dude.
the last trip I did legit changed my attitude on like so much shit, or like not even like change, but just like reinforced it so much. So I took like 4 hits, which I had never done before.
Oh,
like
nice.
I always did like half of one or one.
Yeah.
And
No, sometimes you gotta go.
yeah, and I was like,
There you
you
go.
know what? Let me just fucking drop this shit. And oh man, it was fan-fucking-tastic. I mean, I was talking to the trees. Like
Yeah.
I was,
No,
yeah,
totally.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
was
can see
with
everything
it.
vibrates.
Yeah, I was with it, but it was so crazy because I was outside like eating Starburst and shit. And, like I smoke like a madman, so I'm out there zoned out into the sky and shit, and then. But acid just catches you off guard because you'll find yourself doing very, very regular shit for how high you are.
Yeah.
So I was just like, just sitting there, just like chilling on iTunes. You know what I mean? I'm just like, do I want to get this? Do I want to buy blah, blah, blah? And then I go back and outside and I'm having a fucking religious experience. It's like,
Yeah, no, you hit those peaks.
Yeah.
You're always hitting
Yeah.
those fucking peaks, and then you come out of it. Like I remember one time me and my buddies were tripping so hard, and we were laughing. Something made us laugh, and we're laughing. You're laughing so hard, and you're like hitting these peaks, and then all of a sudden you're just like, what were we laughing about? What were we laughing about? And you forgot, and it'd make you laugh, and then you would, because how like silly it was, but then you would remember what you were laughing about, and just fucking go through the roof, like it would just keep fucking just wave after wave after wave. And I never really had that like with mushrooms. I never had like the
really?
same, like just the way the peaks
It's
would
two
hit on
different
mushrooms.
things. Yeah, it's two different things for sure.
No, the mushrooms would be more like fucking like we're going and we're just like cruising and everything's bebopping
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Whereas acid, you're like, up
I just
and
feel like
down,
with acid,
up
the
and
brain
down.
just expands more into more like different places. Like
Oh, totally, dude.
I was on the last time I did acid. I'm so bad at drawing, and I never knew if it was like a confidence thing or like whatever it was. I just never really had the patience. I'm not good at drawing, and I wish I would have kept them honestly. But it's like I made like some bomb ass drawings. I was like,
Yeah.
I never draw. I've not drawn shit in like years. Like if
dude.
if somebody's like you haven't drawn in 10 years, I'd be like that sounds about right. You know what I mean? Like I don't draw shit.
Dude, yeah, I'm very limited on what I can actually draw and do, but on acid I did some amazing fucking things, dude. When I was like skateboarding, I'd fucking clear like these amazing gaps and like land all the tricks. I remember one time I was about 15 years old, and I had to fucking play baseball. I thought it was later in the day, but I had like an earlier game, so fucking I'm just frying balls playing baseball. Like I went like 3 for 3, fucking like 2 stolen bases, like made like amazing like diving catch, and you know what I mean, like just had like the all-star fucking game, like I've done some shows on acid, fucking done great. Done shows on mushrooms too, and had a lot of fun.
I've
You
done
know?
mushrooms on stage, not done them on stage, but you know what I mean. I've been
Yeah.
tripping, and that is like a blast. Like I can never tell if people are actually like laughing
to
or
it or-
not.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like I have a lot of people that think I'm like completely straight laced. I don't know why. I think it's because like I say enough outrageous shit, or maybe I'm just like. Maybe I'm fast, whatever, you know what I mean? But or maybe they don't see me doing shit. But people are like, oh, I didn't know you smoked. I was like, I smoke a pack a day, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like I wake up and drink, you know what I mean? Not every single day, but like, close to it, you know what I mean? Like I'm just in a phase, you know what I mean? And so I can recognize that, but people are like, I didn't know you did all this stuff. I'm like, nigga, I took 4 hits of acid, bro. You ever take a hit so good that you just straight up be like, man, I just want to go door to door and hand one to everybody. You ever have that thought and you're like, oh no, don't do that.
Yeah.
What is this? It's fucking LSD. Get over yourself. Come on, I'm on a ride. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's wild. I've had that thought. I was like, yo, all right, you are not leaving the house. That is it. Like once I was like, you're gonna be here for a few hours. Like I don't even want that potential to come up.
It's such a it does widen the river, of consciousness. I mean, when you have like a stream going, when you're like stoned or you're like in the right alpha state, it's flowing, man. You just have like the fucking deluge, the great flood fucking pouring into your brain, shaping out the Grand Canyon, dude, because
oh yeah,
I've seen in my first trip, I had like first of all, I ended up taking like a hit and a half. It wasn't just like I was supposed to take like a half a hit, and they're like really. It was like, I guess any time, but is supposedly really really strong, and I mean I fried fucking hard, and but when I had that me time, that alone time, I'm trying to fucking sit there and go to sleep, and I'm just like, it's like I'm having all the fucking wonders of the universe like explained to me, like I'm doing this guided tour. I'm like, and this is how the pyramids were built over here, and how they work with the pyramids over in South America, and you know what I mean. And the stars are lined up like this because, and the whole time I'm like, I'm gonna remember the shit.
I'm gonna snag another one of these.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like I'm gonna be genius, and then you fucking finally fall asleep and you wake up and you're like, what was that shit last night? Like,
Oh, yeah.
And they can't remember a fucking thing, dude. I'd love to, if it was possible to fucking try to trip that hard again and record it, like, if there's any way you can explain it. But it'll probably come out like, stars.
Yeah, that's the whole beauty part of it is like not even explaining it. Like that's like that's my favorite part of like those types of same with MDMA, right? That's like my favorite part of doing those types of drugs is just like, yo, that raw ass emotion, like that straight up spiritual side of the shit. And I don't do it for spiritual reasons. Like it's purely recreational. Maybe to clear my head, I put it that way.
I look
but that's
at
as close as I get into any
Like
kind
the
of
euphoric
philosophy.
experience, like just the like everything's let go, like
A disconnect. Actually break away.
It's a reset.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Throw some perspective on it. Look at the big picture of shit, and just take everything for what it is, but also not. You just throw that perspective on it. That little bit of stank.
Yeah, dude.
LSD is like, I think that's like the greatest. That and shrimp. I love shrimp, dude.
Shrimp.
LSD.
Shrimp and LSD. What's funny is my dick looks like a shrimp when I'm on LSD. I was just saying the other day. I think it was at the fucking at the Battle Comics. I was like, yeah, I don't like to do drugs while I'm tripping because my dick looks like a stack of dimes. Just this shriveled up fucking.
That's a funny thing. I can't go to the bathroom if I'm tripping. Like normally, like I would like need an escort or some shit. Like I will.
Wait, someone to hold the dick while you're fucking pissing?
Like I just like I can't be in like that small of a space. You know what I mean? Like by myself. Like I can't just let it go unless I'm already by myself. Now I could piss outside. Like I have no problem with like indecent exposure, but I'm paranoid to piss.
Dude,
it's
just
too much acoustically though. Like really, honestly, it's like
no. I was gonna say you took me back to like when I was a kid and we were tripping in this place called Avenue 3, pizza and subs by my house, and that was like the place where we'd go play Street Fighter 2, But when you go in the bathroom, they're like kind of tight quarters, and I remember like taking a piss, and everything's going and twisting and bent, like fucking pulsating, and I'm trying to like fucking pee, and I remember peeing and shit. Then I remember going by the mirror and just looking at myself like, oh, like you were fucking tripping. Yeah.
It's too much noise. Now I'll shower. I have no problem with that, but actually like going to the bathroom got me fucked up. People are like, all that shit. They're like, don't look at mirrors. Don't blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't have a problem with that shit.
Oh, dude. That's the other thing about, like, shrooms when I eat them versus, like, if I drink a tea. I always feel like I have to shit all night long. I'm always feeling like I get the bubble guts. And I always got to – it feels like I always got to shit, dude. That's the other thing that's different. You know, you're gonna end up with the pink sock, dude. Just fucking pushing too hard when you're tripping on acid. You don't know how fucking hard you're pushing. You know,
professional
Or-
laps.
yeah, the professional.
That's what I started calling.
professional laps, the pro laps.
Somebody got like so pissed at me. I said that at a show one time, and they're just like, "Fuck you, Randall Thompson." It's like, it's like
the professional
it's
laps.
not an amateur laps; it's a pro laps. You know, it's a professional laps.
Ooh, that's so good. Dude, we should leave on the professional laps.
I'm cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
perfect.
Thank you guys again. And
Oh,
hey, Slam Dunk Jesus, if you want to know what I'm on my social media, that's all it is. I gotta rebuy my domain name, but I'm on Twitter and Facebook. Randall Crabmeat Thompson. That's all the good stuff. Shameless promotion / out.
No, yeah, that's perfect.
Perfect.
Mikey,
Same old, easy bail bonds.
Easy Bail Bonds, and you find us at ThinkStopper.com, Facebook, Tresmala, ThinkStopper, Tresmala on all the social media. Fuck, my mind's fucking blown. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a fun time, dude. Thanks very much for coming down the show. And anytime you want to come on, you want to hop on the show, you want to blow off any steam, or
I'll come back with some hot takes.
There we go.
yeah, there we go. Some shoots. All right. Yeah, guys. So thanks again very much. ThinkStopper over and out. Bam.